And we're live. Painkiller already. Episode 213. Holy smokes. That is a lot of episodes of a show.
It is a lot of episodes.
Episode like 24 for me, I believe. It's a big day.
Is it really?
A quarter of the way to my first 100.
You can even count?
No, not really. I'm just kind of guesstimating. But we have a guest.
We do have a guest. We got Hastr0 tonight.
Hastr0, welcome to Painkiller already.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Yeah, old school guy for an old school show. How are you?
I might have watched the first one. I'm not sure. I don't know when that was, but I'm a PKA guy, man. I used to watch all the time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we should do the ad read.
Yes, we should. Our sponsor tonight is Crunchyroll once again. We appreciate them being our sponsor. Crunchyroll.com/PKA. That'll get you 1 month of free service over at their site. You get all the freshest anime, and they've got. They wanted us to let you guys know that this month they've got several new series, several new featured shows, and I'm going to begin mispronouncing them. So the first one here is Kali. I hope I'm getting that one right. Also, The Testament of Sister New Devil, Cute High Earth Defense Club Love, Military, and Saikano, How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend, which has to be something. That's got to be something sexual, right? Like,
I'm
that's
looking
tension,
at
right?
these. Which one do you want to see the most?
I can't wait to see Cute High Earth Defense Club Love. Well, Cute High Earth Defense Club Love, because love is the only one in caps. With the
I want to watch. I just want to watch Military, which has an exclamation point for no apparent reason.
Really? I'm all about Saikano, How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend. That
one's got to be some sort of hench. I don't think that was on there. And of course there are classics like Attack on Titan, Naruto Shippuden, and Bleach. I'm starting to think that ninja we always talk about, that somewhere transcribing this stuff is fucking with us. Is there really a show called Bleach on there?
I've heard of Bleach.
And more straight from Japan.
I've definitely heard of Bleach. That's on what is it? Adult Swim, right? Bleach is on Adult Swim.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never watched it. I haven't seen any of these. But what do you suspect Cute High Earth Defense Club Love might be about, Kyle?
Cute High Earth Defense Club Love. I'm imagining
it's a defense club.
Okay, yeah, it's a group.
I think High Earth is the name of the defense club, but they're cute. So
they're cute girls.
And
I'm imagining it's like 3 to 5 like preteen girls with like bright. One's got like bright green hair, one bright blue hair. You know, it's a mix. Like there's a brunette, a redhead, a blonde Asian, which makes no sense ever. And not that the blue-haired Asian really makes any sense either. But you know, they've all got powers and maybe some like energy shoots out of their eyes, and maybe if they like combine and like do some sort of 5-way scissor action, they like morph into like you know how the Power Rangers would combine into like the giant mech suit.
I don't remember the lesbian scenes in the Power Rangers.
Well, that's because there was guys.
Power Rangers was more love, you know, fun-loving, get together, beat up some easy bad guys with your friends. You're making it sound like pretty raunchy.
I watched the Power Rangers. We'll break off on the Power Rangers in a minute, but let me just finish up here.
Thank God.
And of course, the best part about Crunchyroll is that you're getting these shows straight from Japan, transcribed as soon as an hour after they've aired there. So works on any devices, as we said before. So check them out. It's a free month. It's very easy to sign up for. It takes about 1 minute. Crunchyroll.com/PKA.
It's flipping awesome.
Yes.
Check them out.
I actually haven't watched any of it yet, but is the guy who transcribes the Japanese, is it good in the actual shows?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like it would be that great by these titles.
No, they
like
do
the
a perfect
Testament
job,
of Sister
really.
New Devil. What could that conceivably be about?
Based on Attack on Titan, you have to read that whole thing, right? I forgot. How does that not stick in my head? We read it as we watch it, right? They don't do it in English. Or do they do it in English?
Yeah, no, it's subtitles, right?
See, I'm on the other side of the fence, man. The worse it is, the better, right? Like, you know, I'm on that side, man. As long as they do a terrible job, I'm happy.
See, and I like watching shows for that reason too, like bad horror movies. Like I enjoy bad horror movies, but I like explaining it to people like, oh, I love bad horror movies. So it almost like pushes off my accountability for spending time watching them if you embrace how bad it is, you know? Because at the end of the day, it's like, why the fuck are you wasting your time with this shit show or this shit movie unless you're like, oh, I just enjoy it, you know, a little pet hobby for me. Not saying that the content hosted on wonderful Crunchyroll would have anything to do with that whatsoever. I was just throwing it out there.
I want to watch Attack on Titan in a longer binge. We did what, 2 series of 3 or 3 and a 4?
Yeah,
I'm down
like
to watch
that.
like 10 episodes or maybe 8. Maybe we can do 2 because there's 20 total if I'm right. If we watch 8 twice, then we can wrap that up and check out the boring girlfriend one or something. Or we get some sub feedback and see which ones we should do next.
Okay. All right.
But,
I want to. As much fun as like poorly subtitled stuff can be, have any of you ever seen? It's the pilot episode of Archer. There's an alternate pilot episode of Archer in which he's a velociraptor, and he doesn't speak English. He just makes dinosaur noises. Have any of you seen it?
Yes. And it's the exact same episode, except and they talk to him as though he's responding, but he's just a raptor. And the actual first episode, he'll say a one-liner until he'll be standing there by a raptor, and it'll just and they'll be like, "Oh, that's real cute, Archer." Just for no fucking reason. It is pretty funny.
Yeah,
once.
Once. Yeah, you don't watch that one because it makes no sense. It'd be great if the subtitles worked. I wonder if they do for that. Now that would be hilarious if the Velociraptor went and then Netflix was like, it had the subtitles there, but what Archer was actually saying. I'd love that. That might even be better.
I feel like Archer's lines make that show. Like if it wasn't for his deadpan delivery of his awesomeness, and it wouldn't be a good
That's probably
show.
why they steered clear of the long-term Raptor commitment. They're like, you know what, this guy is pretty integral to this plot.
Like, you just killed 8 guys. He's like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just really good at that.
Yeah,
like,
right?
Yeah.
And, or there was
he's like,
another
don't
thing.
worry, they're out of bullets. How do you know that? Because they shot 14 times. There's a Walter P226s. How do you know that? I don't know. I'm just really good at doing that stuff.
Yeah, dude, he's amazing. Like every so often, you're reminded, that's why he has that job. But I want to talk about Hastr0.
And
Yes.
the Power Rangers?
And the Power
Let's do
Rangers.
it, man.
Is there a gay scene with Hastr0 and the Power Rangers?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's never happened.
Dude.
Can't say that's happened.
So what's new with you? I guess you're still doing the envy thing. I'm looking at the clothes. Did you guys have a monster
Yeah,
deal,
yeah.
or is it just a hat? Talk to me.
Oh yeah, man, still doing it. It's gotten better, man. Whole scene's growing, so I've just kept it going and staying the course, man. So yeah, it's been busy. We had a really good 2014, and I think Call of Duty Esports is really growing, and esports in general growing. And I'm hoping maybe you guys still tune in every now and then, watch, because I know you guys definitely watched back in the day, years ago, man. Years ago, you guys are old school, so you guys have seen it come from what little it was to what it is now.
Yeah, I still do watch. Yeah, anyway, I still keep on top of the scene. I watch. I got the same loves and same complaints. I wish rosters were more steady. And I understand why they're not, because there's no rules that make them that way. And if you want to be competitive, you got to, switch things around. And if there were rules that enforced it, I feel like it's not like pro football where, people can just decide not to. They're no, you have to play for envy. Well, then I'll play for no one. Bite me.
It's getting there, though. We're starting to get a little bit more formal with the rules and player transactions and stuff like that. It's gotten more stable, but at the same time, yeah, you're right. I mean, it still happens in pro sports, though. There's a trade deadline and people get waived and people get traded, and it's just more. I think it's more apparent when you're only dealing with a 4-man team, right? Call of Duty's a 4-man team, and NBA has 11 players. The NFL rosters have 55. So sometimes you kind of get lost in not hearing about every single player transaction that happens. But players get switched around all the time in those sports too. But yeah, it happens a little more often.
That's a good point. Right? It's just a lower percentage of the team. You never see the Flyers drop 25% of their team. What was that, Tim?
So you can't be like, all right, fucking Billy XX0069 has sucked ass for the last 5 competitions. Let's trade him to Optic for, Optic whoever the hell.
Yeah, we actually can do that now. There's you can trade amongst the MLG Pro League teams now. So you're allowed to have 2 substitutes. You can also trade the substitutes. You have basically a period where you can make trades amongst teams, but there are rules that kind of regulate it all. You can't add a player from another team in the league unless it's a trade. You can only add outside, I guess, players who aren't competing in the league up to a certain point as a substitute. So there are rules. There are a bunch of rules, and I think they're posted online somewhere. But
so
yeah.
What's the plan for post COD esports? So I talked about this on the show not too long ago. It feels to me, and this is not scientific, but that esports is growing, or esports are growing, and COD esports are growing, but COD's not, right? Based on sales numbers. Now, I will temper that. I don't know. I will hedge my bet a little bit and say people seem to like this COD more. Like Advanced Warfare has had a better reception. As a matter of fact, Advanced Warfare took a ton of crap before it released, and then after people played it, they liked it, which I can't remember a COD that's done that. It's always been hype, 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 we're going to love it, this is our savior, and then they get it and they don't like it. Advanced Warfare almost did the opposite. People would poo on it, it came out, and they're like, oh, actually, this is kind of cool. So I feel like people who are playing the game love the game, and esports, even COD esports is growing, but sales of Advanced Warfare were below, what would it be, Ghost, which were below the one before that and below the one before that, all the way back to, I think, Black Ops 2 or even Black Ops 1.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you know this. Like,
I'm listening.
When COD 4 came out, I mean, that was like kind of the revolutionary day for COD. It was like that. That's when it kind of made that transition into, okay, well, this is a badass game that's kind of new, right?
It took the Halo crown.
Yeah, it had that huge fan base. I mean, obviously we all played it. So, I feel like Call of Duty got so big over those next few years that, ultimately, like, all empires kind of start having a little bit of decline at some point, right? Like, people have been playing COD for how many years, and eventually, you I guess I wouldn't say get sick of a game, but you just would rather play something else once you've kind of had your fill of something, right? Like,
I've always maintained the game's not getting worse, with the exception of Ghost. That Ghost I didn't like, but I thought Black Ops 2 was a great one. I haven't tried Advanced Warfare, so I can't judge it, but it looks good online. But I thought Black Ops 2 was great. I thought Modern Warfare 3 was good. I thought Black Ops 1 was good. I thought, with the exception of the colors, like all the way down, it kept getting better and better and better the whole way through. If COD 4 was released today, I think it'd be a cruddy game. A lot of people will disagree with that, but I think the game, they'd look at it and they'd say that it's simple, that it wouldn't be able to compete with like current CODs and things like that. So it's not that the game's getting bad, but sales are dropping. And what's after COD?
Well, in terms of what? Like, what's next? Like, in terms of what game gets played in esports, or
like, what do the people in COD esports do next? Right? Some of them, like I've got Nade Shot in my head. Hopefully, assuming they haven't been like spending money like water, are set up to be financially ahead of the game for the rest of their lives. Right? He could buy a nice home and never have a mortgage and just be always benefiting from the experience he had in his 20s, right? He's not the typical pro player, right? The typical pro player is getting by.
Yeah.
What do these guys do next?
Let me put it this way. Well, I think like Call of Duty esports in general is what is there to sustain, sales of Call of Duty in the long run anyway, right? So like, for me, I feel like the Call of Duty franchise is a video game. It really isn't going to go anywhere for a long time. I feel like it's going to be around, and although maybe they're not selling as many units as they did, and maybe it keeps declining for a little while, I think at some point that kind of stabilizes out, and the decline in sales kind of declines, if that makes sense. So, at some point, excuse me, you'll have this really loyal fan base still. Man, I gotta get a drink.
Do you think?
I know, man. I actually do drink this stuff like every day. I know. So it's not. There's like water here too. So don't worry. It's
like a Disney deal. Hold on, man. I have to get a drink.
Yeah. No. I actually, my throat was extremely dry. You probably heard the voice. But yeah. So like, I feel like, okay. So COD Esports, the fact that the developer and publisher supports that scene, I think this goes for any esport. Okay. Like, even like you look at a game like League of Legends, which is the most played game in the world now. They built that game based around esports because they are sustaining the interest in the game from the fan base, and they'll continue to modify that game. Of course, with Call of Duty, we get a new game every year, so I think eventually, like Call of Duty itself, the developers will make it more competitive and so on and so forth, and Call of Duty esports draw for people to continue watching it and to continue playing it, and for more ideas to get passed and. Yeah. So on and so forth, right?
I feel like excuse me. I can't imagine a world without a competitive FPS league, right? Like, that'll exist forever. And like, I feel like Halo was the premier FPS game, even as Halo was the premier, a competitive FPS, while COD was the premier played FPS. And I guess right now COD is probably still both. I don't know if there's a more played FPS.
Well, look, I mean, there are all these like factors that you could talk about, that has to attribute to whether, people are going to actually watch a game. Like, people aren't really watching Halo anymore, but, in my opinion,
Not
I just don't
anymore,
really
but
see viewership. Yeah, at
right
one
before
point,
MLG dropped it, though, they were still the main stage.
yeah, but those numbers that they had watching those tournaments back then don't even like compare to what we have now with like Call of Duty or any esports in general, right?
Okay.
Like, yeah, it was a lot of people for the time, but if you compare those numbers to now, like it's still, you'd look back and be like, okay, well that's not that quite that many people tuning into these events, right? So yeah, I mean, I think like other factors are you have star power and you have people like Nadeshot, for example, and you have some of the other bigger players, pros that have these huge fan bases. So wherever they go, whatever game they're playing, people are going to watch it, right? Like people, if Nadeshot decides to move on and play whatever game professionally, a lot of people are going to go and watch that game. Like it's going to be an esport because
assuming he has the same level of success, right? Like hypothetically, if Nadeshot went and played League of Legends and got his butt handed to him, I have no idea if he's good at that game. They'd watch him, and then they'd eventually find someone else in that game.
Right. So maybe a better example would be if the teams themselves, organizations, were signing players, and like let's say Optic and Envy. Optic went and they have a Halo team. So yeah, some people are watching Halo, but like
does Optic still have a Halo team?
I think they do. Yeah.
Is it? It's Instinct, right?
Well, no, the Instinct team is kind of split up now.
Oh.
So like 2 of the players or 3 of them were on EG, I believe, and then you have Ogre 2 on CLG now, which are both big esports organizations. So.
Yeah, I used to love that team, man. Like I hope I can name them all, but there was like Ogre 2, there was Roy, there was Pistola, and there was
Roy's twin Lunchbox. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And I met Hex at like an MLG tournament, and then he and Pistola had like a secret handshake they did. And I was like, oh my God, I wish I was that cool. Like, it was the neatest thing. But yeah.
Going back to it, I don't want to be boring. So let's just get into this. I can't even I'm just gonna be, you guys know me. I'm gonna be honest. So like I'm one of those guys who like I can't really play Call of Duty anymore. Like I just don't enjoy playing it as much as I used to. And I don't know if you guys even play it anymore as much, but I'd rather play other games just because.
For you in particular, there's got to be a lot wrapped around it. Like if I'm in a Hastr0 lobby, you have to lead every one, right? You have to be Hastr0.
Dude, I probably would suck so bad right now playing Advanced Warfare. I would probably be just an average Joe. And, I just don't, but what I'm saying is I just don't have the interest to continue to play the game like I used to. Sure, I'll play it here and there, but rarely. And I love watching it still, and I love being involved in Call of Duty Esports. But for me, like I've moved on to enjoy other games. And, I think that's kind of what attributes to the decline in sales. I think some of the older generation of players have kind of had a little bit of their fill. But, it's up to the publisher and developer to re-engage that audience again and make something badass. And I think that eventually they'll find something that does that, right? Kyle, do you still play?
I bought the game like 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And I don't know, I think I'm a level 26 right now. I'm not loving it. I don't know. They changed a lot. It's a lot to get used to. We were watching XCal play earlier, and the way he's handling the boost, the way he's so evasive when he's anticipating his shots. He's coming into engagements from like a high angle and dropping down. He's like an impossible target. And I feel like to master something like that, first of all, you got to be a weird little Asian kid named Bruce. And second of all, you got to really put your fucking hours in. XCal's incredible on the sticks. Yeah. I know I can't do that. I'll never be able to do that.
Dude, I need to watch more pros play, but XCal, I think, has a shot that is as good as any MLG player. And I know that there was a time when he was an elite competitive player, not in COD, but in Battlefield, I think, something like that. But like he played for 20-inch dildos or something. I don't know if I know the whole story right. But apparently they were some sort of elite FPS team, and he was on there, and he was even one of the better guys. He has a strong competitive background, but right now he's a strong pub stomper. His shot has no room for improvement. Like he just does really well. Being a pro,
he really is one of those players that, like, even watching that, and I really never watched his videos, but like it makes me want to go play COD for about 3 minutes before I'm like, fuck this, I'm never gonna be like that. and then just that's it.
Now, being a great pro isn't about your shot. It's only it's a little piece of it. It's about coordination. It's about planning. It's about prediction. It's it's a
he was
whole
doing
different
that
thing.
shit too. Yeah, like there was one point where he like jumped and boosted through that window, and like we were like, I wonder if he has to crouch to pull that move off. And I think now that I think about it, yeah, he did. I think that he was double jumping, boosting forward while crouching, and controlling his direction while he went through that window, and then he mopped up 3 people with a fucking laser. So like, it's just very impressive to see.
He's insanely stupidly good.
Yeah, there's a huge skill gap in this game too. Like I think, well, I wouldn't say huge. It's bigger than the other Call of Duties for sure.
Definitely so. It takes so many bullets to kill, and you've thrown in like. Anytime you make it more complicated, anytime you make it harder to play, you increase that skill gap. And this game
Halo had a big skill gap, partly because of the way that you evaded, right? Like, the point with Halo, I'm not a Halo genius, so hopefully I have this about right. But the thing with Halo, if you had an unpredictable strafe and you could Halo jump while being accurate, you had a huge advantage over, like, a COD-style player who might just run forward and do his shots. Even if you can go 4 to the body, 1 to the head. If you can't do that while strafing unpredictably and jumping, you're going to lose your gunfights.
I saw T-Mark tweet, and he's like, oh, the key to this new COD, and it was pretty early in the evolution of the game, so maybe he's rescinded this, but he said, like, don't use the boost too often. Treat it like a regular COD. So I tried that for a little while, and that does not work at all for me, because I'm trying to sneak around a corner, and some cyborg just right past me and turns invisible.
I saw
and
that
I don't remember
tweet
any
too.
of those things at all. I don't remember any of the special abilities until I see someone use them.
Yeah, I'm a classic COD guy, man. If they brought back like the Car 98K, like the bolt action rifles, like that shit. If they brought that shit back, man, like the old school style where I could peek around a corner and pop somebody with a quick scope with the Car 98K, like COD 2, COD 3 style, like I'm all about that.
Do you have any idea what track
World at War was fun, man.
Are you in the loop? Do you know what track is?
Dude, I'm not, man, but I know like. Dude, I know Vaughn really well, and like he's a buddy of mine, and I worked with him on Black Ops 2. But that guy's like, God, man, he's a genius, right? Like the guy is a genius.
He's the best in the world at his job.
He's a hard worker. Like I can't even begin to, I don't want to spill too many beans, and maybe he won't appreciate me talking about him so much. But dude, that guy, like, he is so passionate about what he does as a game designer, and he's a genius, man. And yeah, like. I just feel like he's like a mad scientist right now, cooking something special up. Like for some reason, I have this feeling that he's like going all out for this next Call of Duty that Treyarch's making.
He always does.
Dude,
so I don't know Vaughn as well as you do, but I was playing Black Ops 2 before it dropped, and I just happened to get in a party with Vaughn or in a game with him. So we partied up and we played for a while, and I was there during his first player emblem ban. He's like, oh, look at this. My first penis ban of Black Ops 2.
Yeah, dude. He's awesome, man. He's just a legit down-to-earth kind of guy, too. I mean, he's really an intense guy if you know him really well, right? He's a super intense guy. But, yeah, I mean, he's, like, completely witty, man, and he'll shoot the shit with you and, like, totally down-to-earth. And, yeah, that's a perfect example. The guy's got an awesome sense of humor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's fine. But yeah, I think the next Call of Duty from Treyarch is going to be awesome.
I have no idea where it's going. Like, if you told me it was a World War II shooter, I'd be like, oh, I guess so. They ran out of future. If you told me it was like damn near Halo, I'd be like, yeah, I guess so. That's the natural progression.
Here's what I want. So we've had like 3 futuristic CODs, it seems like to me. Like the last 3 or 4 seem to have been pretty futuristic. I want all of these combined conflicts, these Atlas rockets and all these like kinetic space weapons. They've just wiped out the Earth. Giant EMP, and we lose all the technology, and we're having to go back to like fucked up weapons with duct tape on them. Let's have Call of Duty like Memories or something, and like
Memories.
Yeah, Call of Duty
terrible.
Factions. Whatever, I just made it up on the spot. Call of Duty Factions. Call of Duty Factions, where like you're just broken up into squads, and maybe you're like the North Carolina squad or something.
Factions is a great game mode to play on WoodyCraft.net, by the way.
It sure is.
Hate on me for that, bitches. Go ahead, see if I care.
I'd be down for that. I'm down for that idea. I think that'd be cool.
I would like the tech to go backwards, though. I would like the tech to go backwards. I would like it to
post-apocalyptic Call of Duty.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic Call of Duty, where maybe like there's been some sort of giant weapon ban, and like There's not as many guns. The guns aren't as prevalent. I mean, give us some SKSs. Give us some like basic shit, like some single shot shotguns. I'd like to go backwards. I don't know. I'm shooting stuff off my wrist and
no, I
running around
agree.
invisible.
I'm over the whole lasers thing.
Everything's a drone now. Everything's a drone. Everything's flying and shooting me. I'd like to slow that down just a little.
Yeah, I think like everybody's just always gonna be critical of what a Call of Duty is, though, man. You know, it's like there's only so much you can do, and like it's like okay, we're in the future for a couple games, and that's like oh, let's throw it back. But if you throw it back, it's like okay, well we've been back here, so I don't know.
That's true. That's true. I like
really no winning.
I like it to the futuristic thing to a point. What I really am not liking is some of the kill streaks seem to be pretty weak. I'm having a hard time finding a kill streak setup that'll work. I can if I use support kill streaks, they'll just feed themselves.
Wings of
over
Redemption stuff seems to work.
Yeah, but I can't. I'm not as good as Wings, so I can't get those extra 3 kills.
Where is Wings,
get
by the
that
way?
ball rolling.
What's Wings up to these days?
Oh my God,
Wings is struggling, man.
What's the last? Hang on. What's the last thing that you heard about Wings? That's because we got to establish a time. We have to.
All right. Okay, here we go. Ready? Oh man, shit.
Well, he'd just been to your house for a diet.
Honestly, like, I think I like kind of. I mean, I had to tune out. Let's just get this straight right here. So there's nothing against Wings or anybody else. Like, I basically tuned out. I lay low these days. I don't go to as many events anymore. Like honestly, and it's sad to say, I'm more of like a businessman who still plays a bunch of video games. Like, I sit behind a desk. I make phone calls all day. I do paperwork all day. I do legal, accounting, and stuff like that, right? So like, I don't really get to watch. Well, when I do spend time watching
you grew
YouTube
up.
videos,
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. So last thing I saw of Wings, I think, was really like the last videos I actually watched is when he was doing like, I don't know, he was doing some kind of dance off with somebody, and he was doing like the milk challenge and shit like that. Like, so I don't.
That was probably me competing with him in dancing.
Yeah, yes, it was. It was. And
Jackie and I had our way with him and Shailene.
But I have seen, like, from time to time, like, complete like outbursts on Twitter or something, where like I'll be like, oh shit, I'm gonna like click on Wings' Twitter and check it out. Like, I hope the guy's doing well, because like I think Jordy, he's an awesome dude. He obviously like is a little outspoken sometimes, and I don't know. I just hope he's doing well, because I had nothing against the guy, and I hope he's doing great. Like, I think he deserves to be happy right now. So I don't know what's going on with him.
Well, then brace for impact.
What? Okay, let's hear it, dude.
Okay, Wings has had a rough year and a half, I would say. That's about how much you've missed. Maybe 2 years. He's had a rough 2 years.
Okay, let me mention this too.
Okay.
I also saw a lot. Okay, this is like the last time I was like, all right, this is kind of what's going on, where he was just always complaining about him not getting views. Like,
okay, yeah, that was the beginning of the downfall.
Okay, let's hear it.
So he's not on the show anymore. It was kind of the culmination of a lot of things that brought that about. But there was a survival trip we went on, and this was kind of like the last straw for me with him. We planned the survival trip.
I heard hints of this. I saw there's controversy here. That's all I know.
Yes, myself, Woody, and Wings planned this thing meticulously for like a month, maybe 2 months. Like, all right, we're going to the Uwharrie National Wilderness in North Carolina. It's a central point for all three of us. We all come in from different, directions, but this is where we meet. We're gonna spend 5 days in the wilderness. We're going in with like a backpack full of shit, but it's basic shit. It's like there's a few creature comforts like wet wipes, but basically we're going in with like a knife and flint and like some basic shit.
Firearms.
And guns. Yeah. We don't have a tent. That's the worst part. Or food. No food. Only water purification stuff and
no tent.
No sleeping bags. None of that shit. It was gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's raw. Okay.
So. And I mean, we planned this thing for a month. Every show we were talking about it. It took up a half an hour of every.
Let me jump in for a second. So Lefty was on the show at the time.
Yeah, I remember Lefty. I tuned in a couple times.
And Lefty didn't want to do it. Lefty just said, "Look, camping's not my thing. Whatever."
Yeah.
And Wings is like, "You're a pussy. If you were a man, you'd be on this trip. You're a motherfucking pussy. You just you gotta prove yourself."
And out because I saw all the tweets about it, so I know he backed out. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The back out was awful. The back out was so bad. Dude, I'm driving. I'm in my car. I'm 3 hours into like a 6-hour drive to North Carolina. And I call him. I'm like, or maybe I text him, but Yeah, I text him. I'm like, hey man, texting as a drive. We still on? Haven't heard anything from him. He's like, I'm not. He replies back in text, I'm not going. And I'm just like,
yep.
What do you mean you're not going? And that bounced back and forth for a while. We got on Skype and texted back and forth, myself, Woody, and him. And long story short, he was like, nope, I'm not coming. And so Woody and I pressed on. We got out there, and we were doing okay. We had we had our shelter about halfway done, but we had a fire.
More. It had a base. It had a roof. Maybe 3/4. Go on.
I wanted some more work on that base part that we were going to have to sleep on because that looked horrible.
It was dreadful.
It did not look good.
But I don't know if you've seen all the pictures. But long story short, one of the things that occurred on the trip was that we were starving, and we saw turtles that were kind of like coming up for air out in the middle of the river that we were next to. So there's this big oak tree like dead in the water. So I start like climbing up it, kind of walking up it with the rifle, and I'm kind of looking at a downward angle to the turtles, and I shoot one. Woody doesn't believe I shot it apparently, but I shot it.
You're accurate. I know when you shoot something. Come on, Woody.
Right? So I shot the thing, and here's how I know, because there were 3 turtles in like a pod hanging out, floating on top of the water. I shot it at one in particular, and that one did not like dive below with its buddies. He stayed on top, and I pumped like 2 more into him, and I run down the tree and put the gun down and jump in the water and start swimming out to the fucking turtle.
Kyle can't swim.
Aquaman stayed on the shore so his shoes wouldn't get wet.
I was wearing long pants and like hiking boots, and Kyle's in a swimsuit. Carry on.
Woody is literally borderline Olympic class. He's literally like as good as you're gonna get without someone knowing your name swimming or something.
Like Michael Phelps' grandpa.
Yeah, exactly. He's a lifeguard.
I was a collegiate swimmer. I had some records. I'm not Olympic class, but I can swim.
Okay.
You're a whole lot better than me. So I struggled my way out there, and at some point I gulped up some river water, and I started vomiting on the other side, and I didn't stop until like 2 in the morning, so we walked the fuck out of there and went home. And when I say we went home, I mean I started a 6-hour drive at 1 in the morning, vomiting every like 100 miles as I went. It was awful.
What month was this in, by the way?
Maybe April-ish, May, something like that.
Okay.
I don't even fucking know. It was pretty cold.
Springtime then.
So we kind of got off the wings thing, but that's what happened with that trip.
I don't know. It might have been fall.
Since then, he's had kind of a hard time. Yeah, his channel. He's been struggling with his channel and going back and forth, and he's not sure what he's going to do. His weight has been a big struggle. He, I don't know if you remember, but he spent a month at my house doing a weight loss boot camp type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's working with a personal trainer, and it's kind of iffy because he seems to be working hard at it, but he still seems to be gaining weight. So it's kind of tentative. We wanted him to come on tonight, but he said he wasn't feeling well and he didn't think he'd be a good guest. We even offered to pay him, but he just felt like I think he was feeling really down. So I hope he gets better. I hope he gets back on track. But
Jordy, if you're watching this, man, I hope you're doing good, buddy. Like I really do, man. I really do hope he's you guys are good friends of his too. Like he should be.
Oh yeah, we will.
Everybody wants to see that guy succeed, man. Like if that guy would.
I want him to succeed enough that he's like can take care of all of his bills and be happy. But I don't want him to become a real like winner or anything, making like $200-300 a year. And he would admit this. He would tell you if you were sitting here, you give Jordy $250,000 a year, he'll become the meanest motherfucker you've ever met. You won't be able to be in the same room with him without.
He's an honest guy, man. He's an honest guy. Yeah.
He'd look you up and down and just fucking find you wanting. He would let you know. in every case, in any situation. What some shoes you wearing, faggot? Big money. Big money. Like, he would turn into that guy. So,
I want to say you're wrong, but I don't.
I wish him
wrong.
well, but I don't wish him the best.
Oh gosh. I don't want to.
I want Wings to get skinny, fit, be a fireman, but if you made him a rich man, he would not be a fun guy to be around.
That actually is kind of a perfect outcome. If Wings turned skinny, he was a fireman, he was just he was a working man who like met his goals, but wasn't in a spot where he'd look down his nose on everybody else. Because when he was on top of the world, he wasn't good to the world, man. And he's grown since then. He could be a whole different person now. But
I still remember the first time I met him. I was playing with you guys, I think. I'd met both of you before. We were playing on High Rise in Modern Warfare 2, maybe. And I ruined the spawn trap. And he yelled at me like I just hit his dog in his driveway.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just berated me.
I'm not gonna lie, like I was right with him. I was like, "Fucking noob."
Yeah, I was probably nicer about it, but I bet I shared his thoughts.
Yeah,
yeah, you guys
were such a team player.
I remember being like, God, I don't even know if I want to be around these guys. They're famous on YouTube, but I'm getting yelled at, and Wings called me a fag. And I'm crying. Like,
now that was too much. Now he shouldn't have called you a fag. That was too much. But I was glad that he spoke up when you messed up the spawn trap, because I was such a team player about that spawn trap. I was watching a narrow corridor that I got almost no traffic. But if I don't stay there and overlook those generators in B-Dom, then they're gonna sneak through, get behind us, and they're gonna flip our spawn. I have to stay here and get my 3 kills a minute, or the game doesn't work. And I'm sitting there getting them, and then you rush in, and they're behind me, just fucking running through the Spaz 12, just eating our shit. So yeah, we were all a little mad at you, but I remember it well.
Can I tell a story? Okay, this is gaming. So like when the league play or like ranked playlist, I don't know what it was. It was Black Ops, the original Black Ops, pretty sure. Whatever the ranked playlist was back then, it was like pretty serious, and like I think it was skill based, if I remember right. Like I get online, I'm playing with Wings and like Stainville or somebody, and it's like the 4v4, like competitive playlist. So Wings is like super confident, man. He's just like, oh, we're gonna go here, we're gonna wreck all these guys, whatever. So we go into this game, and like he's just getting completely dominated, man. Like it's like seriously the first game we play or second game we play, and I just
dominated by you guys, or is he with you guys?
With us. We're playing with him, and we're like, oh, we're playing like a CTF game on like Hanoi or something. I can't remember, that map Hanoi. And so like he's just like dying left and right. He's like triple negative, and all of a sudden I just hear, fuck!
I used to do that all the time.
I just look down the kill feed and he's disconnected, and I'm like, it's just like I think he like threw his headset and he just yelled fuck and threw some other stuff, and just like gets offline. Never played League player like the ranked playlist with him again. Like I think that was literally the last time I played Call of Duty with Wings, to be quite honest.
When I first played Call of Duty, I played with a group of friends all the time, right? And like we would just every night we'd sort of sync up and get together and stuff. And they weren't great at COD, but they were nice, good people, and you let them babysit your kids. And I introduced them to Wings, and after one night, they're like, I never want to play with that Southern guy again. Never, ever. It's not worth it. I'm like, he's dropping AC-130s every game. Not worth it. He was just so mean to them that, if you're not, beasting in the game, he doesn't want you around him.
Yeah. That's absolutely true.
He would yell at me. Oh, there were many times when he would yell at me for his failings, right? Like one example, we're playing domination and things aren't going our way. We're losing the game, and we're not used to losing, right? Usually when like a group of YouTubers get together, they'll pull a win-loss ratio like in the 20s or 30s. Heck, any team is going to pull a good win-loss ratio, but there's a team of people who play a lot. And we're getting beat. It's an unusual thing, and he's mad. And he starts cursing me out. Fucking Woody, capture a flag. But this was I guess it was a Treyarch game, or because it had the good scoreboard. And I'm like, check the leaderboard, right? I'm on top. I had like 9 captures to his 2. And he's blaming me for not capturing flags. And then he starts saying that like my captures weren't like the right capture or something. And it's like, dude, you're not even on my level in terms of playing the objective, and you're fussing me about it. There was another time where Predator hit both of us, and he's like, fucking Woody, run away from me when there's a Predator. And I'm like, Wings, I don't have to take this shit from you. I'm not one of your peons. You run away from me. Don't blame me because we're next to each other. It's a 2-man party. And
is that the Sandy Ravage stream? I remember that
was a different one.
That was hilarious.
I remember that too. I yelled at him so hard. Here's the background to that. This is what was happening in my head in the Sandy Ravage stream. And I know people are going to be talking about the stream again. But I'm playing. It's Wings, Sandy Ravage, some of Sandy Ravage's friends who are very good, and me. And the thing about my playstyle at the time, it was all about like controlling engagement, setting things up. It was what I called aggressive camping, moving from like a position of advantage to a position of advantage, etc. The trouble is when you're in a lobby of beasts, you get no traffic that way. You have to be like a Sandy who beats people by hip firing, like first couple shots hip fire, raise your gun and do whatever and just be amazing. And my playstyle, like I was doing decent KDs like in the 3s and 4s, but I would be that guy who was like 12-3 at the bottom of the lobby. So I was like, all right, this time I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to try to be Sandy Ravage this lobby. And I failed, you know, like I'm out sprinting Sandy Ravage in these games, like running into hails of bullets and getting mowed down. And I just don't know how to fucking find traffic when everyone's so awesome on my team. And after the game ends, I don't know what my KD was, but it was something bad. I'll make it up. Like it was 9 and 12-ish, you know, nothing you'd be happy about. And Wings starts like telling everyone, check out Woody on the scoreboards, check out Woody on the leaderboards. He types it in the chat. Look at Woody's KD ratio. And I was like, fuck you, Wings. Fuck you. This is why you don't have any fucking friends, because you're bad to people. You're fucking horrible human being. And I just like railed on him like that. And that was the genesis of that whole thing. It was because he was taking pleasure out of putting me down because I had a bad game because I was trying to be Sandy. And that's Wings when he's on top.
Yep.
So Wings should be successful, but he will be mean. Well, he could have grown since then.
I think the best thing for him is to get, obviously get thin, get in shape, and just start doing something maybe distant from the whole YouTube thing, because it seems to be toxic for him at times, where he just internalizes too much negativity from people, and then that sends him on a spiral. Like I think he just needs to get away from it. He's not making many videos anymore. He's clearly not enjoying it like he used to. And if you ask him, I'm sure he'd say he hasn't enjoyed it for a long time. He just came right out and said a while, or even years ago, like, this is a job. Upload every day. Like 4 times a day or whatever.
Yeah, it has been that at times. Like he's got a lot of fucking uploads too.
Yeah, he does. He's made a lot of videos. I don't know anyone in the COD scene that's made as many as him. And I've made a lot, but I'm not close. He probably has 1,000 more than me. He's made a lot.
Yeah, he was uploading like 3 a day for like a year, wasn't he?
It takes a lot
constant.
out of you. It's easy to think that negative criticism wouldn't get to you if you've never had that. But like the level of fussing that he gets, when you're one of those target people, it can get to you more than you might guess. I've told this before, but I used to watch the Howard Stern show, and the guys on there would be talking about, people saying, oh, I walk around the street, they're yelling Baba Booey at me, it's terrible. And I would think, why do you care at all? At all? How can you possibly give the tiniest of shits about that? And then I forget what happened. I think it was during the bumping thing, but like I woke up one morning and 400,000 people hated me. And it's like, until you've tried that, you'd be surprised. It bugs you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's why I say I've been laying low. I mean, we have critics too, like.
Oh, the competitive scene.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, come on.
You can lose a scrim and it's fall of optic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're just always hazing you. The way the players talk to each other, unless it's changed. I used to hang out with a bunch of competitive guys often. Like I'd play with them and stuff. I used to play with Rambo a bunch. Whenever he streamed, I'd just type in chat and he'd often invite me to join him and stuff. And he's a really good player, good guy. But like just the trash talk they send to each other would hurt my feelings. I'm not cut out to be a pro player. It's not, aside from the whole talent thing, dude, they're mean.
I think they've changed a little bit. I think a lot of those guys have grown up a lot. But yeah, but there are a lot of like armchair general managers who own esports teams out there. There are millions of them, and they'll let you know on Twitter when you make the wrong decision for your team. And of course, they know everything about your team and what led to you to make that decision. So, they always like to tell you that you're wrong and, that you're whatever curse word for, releasing a player or signing a new player or whatever. People just don't understand a lot of the ins and outs of it. And,
sometimes I wonder about the player-team dynamic, right? Like, sometimes you have a player who's more popular than his talent level, and what do you do there, right? Like, can you drop a guy who everybody loves?
Yeah,
Even
it's
if he's,
tough. It's tough to do that, man. I mean, yeah, like that's. I mean, I think to be quite honest, like, people who maybe you're watching this right now that know our team, like we're kind of dealing with that right now. Like I had a decision to make. It was all over. It was aired out everywhere. When we were in Paris for like the Esports World Cup, it happened in the middle of the tournament. We were going to make a change after the tournament. One of our players wanted to let go of 2 others, and
is it all public? Use names.
Well, it's Formal. Formal wanted us to let go of JCap and Nameless and bring on Krim and Karma to our team, and we could have made that happen quite easily. And everybody else seems to think that we couldn't have made it happen, but we would. I'm telling you right now, it was easy for us to make it happen. There's no problem, because what happened, we basically what happened was we decided not to make the change. I decided to stick with Nameless and JCap out of, I guess, integrity and friendship to them, but also knowing that we have a much higher risk of the team not working out in Advanced Warfare the way we wanted to work out. And it's kind of ended up being that recently, where our team is kind of like, middle of the pack now, whereas every year in the past we're top 2, top 3 team every single year. So right now we're kind of middle of the pack, top 8 kind of team. And if I would have made the other decision and put Krim and Formal on our team, I mean, we probably would have been in a better position. And even our players, if they're watching this now, like they understand, because we talk about this, right? But so I made that decision based on integrity, giving my guys a shot, because we killed it at the end of last season. We won major championships. I mean, we were winning the biggest tournaments. We were probably the best performing team in the last three or 4 months of the game. So we made that call. We let Formal go, and guess what? Optic drops 2 of their players, and they make that change. So like we had that opportunity first, because we made it happen. We let it go. Optic ends up with Formal and Krim, and now they're the best team in the game, and they're winning championships and so on. So you have to kind of balance it out. Like if I would have made that change, I would have gotten completely thrown under the bus. People would have hated me, hated my guts. But at the end of the day, we probably would have had the #1 team. Optic does it, and it's okay, because they were struggling.
Dude, it's super hard to evaluate player changes like that. Like I've got a couple examples. One, a player who crushed it last season might not crush it this season, right? The game changes. What made him so on top? And I forget, I think it was Scumpy, who was maybe the best in the game at Modern Warfare 3. And then the next one that came out, Black Ops 2, he wasn't the best in he wasn't the best Slayer in Black Ops 2. And it's like, how did this happen? Well, Black Ops 2 is a different game. Whatever it was about Modern Warfare 3 suited his skill set. And then, of course, there's also the way they fit. Optic made some changes. Was it last year? They picked up Parasite and somebody else. Was it Aches at the same time? I forget. But they grabbed.
I don't think it was Parasite. I don't think Parasite played for him.
He's the heavier guy, right? Yeah, he was on there, dude. Yeah, he played for Optic. And they picked up like 2 players at the same time, and you're like, oh my god, they picked up half of that team that dominated everyone. What was their name? Because they changed it. I can't recall. Impact. But they also were like Farico or something, whatever. But they picked up like half of Impact, made it Optic, and now you're like, oh my god, this is going to be the greatest team in the world. And it wasn't. And then like 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later, they changed out players again. They pick up Ricky, and then Ricky leaves them and goes join. And Ricky fought with Parasite like cats and dogs, and then he goes and joins Parasite's team, and the whole thing is wacky, and you don't know what goes into these things, and it's tough.
Yeah. But it's calming down in terms of like players sticking with teams longer, and because they have to, and that'll even get longer, I think, as we go along and get more formal, and MLG like starts, putting more rules in place and so on. But anyway, like for me right now, like I'm not just focused on Call of Duty and esports anymore. I mean, we're going to expand our team this year. And,
what are you getting? Do you know? Can you say it?
I can't say yet, man.
League of Legends Envy team?
No, man. I'm actually going I really want to sign a Counter-Strike team, so I've been working in the Counter-Strike field and really trying to get a.
How does Counter-Strike's player count compare to COD's?
I can tell you in terms of total like number of players, but
I can tell
tell you that their streams do better for major competitions. Like MLG Columbus recently, we had 200,000 concurrent at one time, which is a pretty good number, right? You're happy with that.
Absolutely.
But
that's
same
huge.
weekend DreamHack in Sweden, they had 500,000 concurrent viewers watching the Counter-Strike final there. So it's like, I think more people are watching Counter-Strike just because it's more global. Plus, they have, I don't know, some things built into the game where you can like bet your in-game content on esports matches. So a lot of people are betting like their gun skins in
That's
Counter-Strike.
a clever idea.
Matches. And so so a lot more people watch it because they have skin in the game, quite literally. Like,
yeah, that's a really clever idea.
yeah, it's really good.
I looked online at the time. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, CS:GO had 500,000 players playing at the same time, and and Dota 2 had 1 million, Minecraft had 1 million, and League of Legends had more. I forget, but it was even bigger.
Yeah, League of Legends is it's really big, man. You know, globally, because it's really popular in the Asian markets. I mean, when you get the Asian markets involved, like you have a lot more people obviously to cater to. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a question for Kyle though. Again, Kyle, are you watch competitive like anything anymore? Any competitive? No.
I'm trying to think the last time I did. No, it's probably been a year. It's probably been a year since I've watched any of that stuff. To be honest.
Yeah, I watched it more recently. Last time I watched it, it got DDoSed. I'm trying to think, what got DDoSed just recently? I forget.
There was like
was it Anaheim? Might have been.
A lot of them are getting DDoS, I think. A bunch of them have been at some point.
Dude, that stuff's hard to fight against. And people who don't know any better are like, why didn't you buy DDoS protection? I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
You can buy all the DDoS protection in the world. You know, I don't even want to give specifics, but there are ways around the DDoS protection. There's, it's tricky to stop.
So, yeah, when somebody actually knows what they're doing, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, if I was a dick, I could DDoS anything.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like I mean, Microsoft and Sony deal with it. I mean, I feel like I've developed a lot of expertise, not just because I'm a technical guy, but I've fallen victim to 1,000 different methods of DDoS attacks. It's like I know them all now. I can take out. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So.
Have you? Do you want to change the topic to this? The French terror attacks this week.
Sure.
So, all right. So I don't watch the news anymore. So I get my news from Reddit and Twitter. And when you do it that way, I feel like it's easy to miss pieces of it. So I'm just going to read this headline, and maybe you guys could fill in any other little tidbits that you're aware of. It says a 2-day reign of terror ended Friday with the deaths of 3 terrorists. A countrywide manhunt for the gunman who killed 12 at Charlie Hebdo's offices Wednesday narrowed to 2 locations on Friday. In the north, police surrounded the building where the two suspect brothers held a hostage in Paris. Another terrorist connected to a fatal shooting of a policewoman was holding hostages at a kosher supermarket. I don't know what else happened after all that.
I think the takeaway from this is America should bomb somebody, right?
Yes.
France.
If history hasn't proven this, it doesn't necessarily have to be connected to the terrorist attacks. But if they
Who
look
should
like,
pay?
What's that?
Who should pay?
Target.
Well, they should be brown, right? I think we excel at bombing brown countries.
Hastr, where are you from?
My family is Egyptian.
Egypt! Bam! That'll do! Fucking Egypt! That's it!
It is a Muslim country.
Perfect!
My family is Coptic Orthodox Christian, though. So
yeah. Well, dude, I
we
don't care. Egypt is every bit as responsible for the France attacks as Iraq was for 9/11. Egypt it is.
Well, Egypt, I mean, I don't think it has so much to do with the countries because they're religious fanatics in every country, even ours. So, but yes, some countries obviously have a higher concentration of religious fanatics and people who are very, I guess.
I mean, if my pattern recognition skills are worth a damn, they just have to be brown.
Yeah, well,
so long as they're brown, we'll bomb them. It's cool.
This is how I feel about it, right? Like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's just a never-ending loop of,
yes, I'm sure we won't be creating more terrorists at all if we just drop bombs on some unrelated country.
I don't know, man. I feel like I don't know. You don't want to be a pacifist, but at the same time, you gotta at some time, like, I guess, call it and say, okay, let's try to work something out here. Like, let's try to find some harmony here. But I don't know what's gonna take.
No, that's cool.
Al-Qaeda in Yemen, I think, is taking responsibility for these attacks. So this was not another ISIS thing. This is Al-Qaeda making their stand in 2015 as the #1 terrorist agency in the world.
Al-Qaeda
Have you heard that, ISIS?
Back in the ring. We need some WWE announcers And just when you thought they were down for the count, Al-Qaeda.
I want to see ISIS
back
come
into
back
the
in the
ISIS.
ring. You know, I rule this town, bitches.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sensitive subject, man. Like, I think, you know, I read about.
Well,
I
we
read
try
the
to be
news every
sensitive
day,
when we
and-
discuss
oh,
it.
of course. I mean, it's fine to joke about, right? Like, that's what I think everybody's making a big deal out of here, right? It's like you should always be able to have your freedoms. I mean, this is fucking America, right? Like, we should be able to talk about this and have our own opinions, and everybody out there in the world should have their own opinions too, and that's what we fight for every day. That's what makes this country the fucking best. But we should just always be able to also like have concerns about, you know, what makes sense, man. What is logical in the world, and like just dropping a bomb on some more people, I don't think is very logical at this point. I think like it's proven that that doesn't really solve anything.
Yeah.
It just fuels the fire even more. You know, I think it's something that I don't certainly have the answers for, but I also think that there's like so much hype around it that it causes people to pass judgment faster, and I think that's shitty.
It's very difficult to like say anything about it because there's always some group that's going to be jumping down your throat every time there's, you know, a religious outburst. And if we're being honest, it's not usually religious outburst. It's an outburst by Muslims. And if you say that, then suddenly you're racist. Or if you jump way to the other side, where, you know, Woody was parodying the people who just want to bomb and, you know, show vengeance and, you know, take it back and just anger. There's just no winning it. You know, you can't even, like, just like you said, people will say, like, well, there are religious extremists in every country. It's like, you know, I would much prefer the religious extremist that holds up a dead baby picture outside of an abortion clinic than someone who actually goes and, you know, methodically murders people for, you know, joking about something that they thought was off color. You know, like, and people are so quick, especially the left, to pretend that's not a true difference and like, oh, extremism is extremism, when reality it's not. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Didn't
there
you
was just
say-
a
what do you
thing,
think?
though, that said there were more right-wing extremists that killed Americans, in America, by the way, since 9/11 than Muslim extremists.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was talking more globally, not just, you know, here.
If you go global, then more people die from Muslim extremists. But I don't know. In the U.S.,
And even then, it's hard to talk about because people say, like, oh, well, not all Muslims. Well, of course not. The vast majority are probably good people just trying to live their lives the best way they know how. But you can't put on the blinders and pretend that there aren't certain patterns that are obvious to anyone who's willing to look at situations honestly.
Yeah, it's real sensitive, man, I guess. And Kyle, what are your thoughts? Let's hear yours. You're the one who brought it up.
Did I bring this up?
Yeah,
I think you did.
did.
No, I don't know. I don't know where I stand on this. Obviously, you've got pockets of extremists who, for whatever reason, want to do crazy. Like ISIS in particular seem like really evil individuals.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're like something out of James Bond with some of the crazy shit. They're stoning people and like, you know, eviscerating people and you know, they crucified some people a while back. Like those guys are ridiculous. Like that's evil. They've chosen to take on, you know, to wave the flag of an Islamic caliphate. Like that's their whole thing. They're like, we're taking over. We're making this all our country where we'll, you know, enforce like Islamic law. So you can't say that is not Islamic extremism. It totally is. I keep hearing them say that like they're not connected, and while I think that they can be connected without them being codependent
Officially
or anything like that.
affiliated, you know?
Yeah, officially affiliated. Exactly. Yeah. Like I don't blame other Muslims for what ISIS is doing, but they're
of course
definitely
not.
connected in a way.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, the more technologically advanced countries who are civil and, you know, have some kind of peaceful attitude just need to colonize the moon, man, because those fuckers can't get up there. That's for damn sure. You know, like just
We were looking at
shop, you know, like if any, you know, set up shop on the moon, man. And
we were looking at a Reddit article earlier, and it said that the United States during the Cold War at one point was considering shooting the moon with a nuclear missile to prove their military superiority to the Russians. That would have been
not too
fucking
late.
cool.
It is not too
late. I would love
still
to see
there.
that.
it's still
I want to
there.
see a big USA up there. Big USA. Let's put that up there. Like, just nuke those letters in. However you got to do it. Laser, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'd love
you think
that.
one moon is cool? How about 7 oddly shaped moons? You know, that involve. Great.
Who needs one moon when you could have 3 rings?
Yeah.
Too good, man. Well, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel really sorry for the people of France, and I hope that they can overcome that situation, and and I hope this starts to die down a little bit. I don't think retaliation is necessarily the answer, but like nobody wants to swallow their pride and just take beatings like that and killings, and but I feel like that's almost the solution. Like, look, just like
I feel like they didn't swallow their pride. Like I was kind of proud of fans, all goofing off aside. Their response was not violent, but they just poured in like the drawings of Muhammad, the "I won't be silenced," the "you can't defeat me," etc. To me, France doesn't have to start killing Al Qaeda members, although that's fine by me. But they don't have to start doing that to not be the surrender country, right? They can just stand tall and hold their cartoon up. That to me was as great an act of defiance as something America would do. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, as long as they don't do what Sony did with the interview. As long as they're not like, yeah, all right, well, we'll just forget about this whole thing then. Sorry. Maybe we could just put it on demand somewhere on the internet. Would that be all right?
Let's switch subjects to the interview. Have you guys talked about this yet?
Yeah, extensively. I think it's up to 34 million in total revenue from online sales, rentals, and its limited box office release. It was like 4 million from box office release and like 30 million from online take.
I'm really disappointed
by that. Real disappointment. It cost like 50, 60 million to make, something like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Like, I just feel like, what did you expect, right? Like, I just think that making a film like that is kind of, you're touching on a subject that has to do with global matters, which obviously is dealing with, there are crazy people in the world, right? And like people that we necessarily don't really get along with, and you're gonna make a film like completely mocking that.
I disagree, man.
Which is fine. I think it's fine, but what did you expect would happen? Like,
but I don't think making a film that mocks that, making a film that mocks North Korea isn't any different than making a film that like praises U.S. soldiers who slaughter a bunch of enemy people, or we've been showing our side of stuff in our films for quite some time.
Can we watch
this?
I'm not saying it's wrong, but what I'm saying is like the way they reacted is like,
I have a clip to watch.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Hastr0, where it's obviously you should be able to do it, but you can't be dumbfounded when you're like, what? They don't care for it. Like, of course they're not gonna like this.
Yeah, like you should be surprised that they're gonna come after you for it.
So the Hastr0, the way we do this is we all click on the link and queue up at 0, and then somebody counts down and we watch it together.
What are we watching?
Do you see the chat on the right? I'm not sure if you have the chat showing for you.
Hold on a second. Let me.
So this is a little clip from one of my favorite Leslie Nielsen films.
Great movie.
The Naked Gun, from the files of Police Squad, and this is the part at the beginning when Frank is inserted overseas, and I don't, forgive me, I don't know my 80s like world dictators, but I think like Gorbachev's there with the birthmark on his head, and maybe like the Ayatollah Khomeini and. Like the Iranian leader and a few others, and he's about. So everybody queued up at 0.
I am. Hastr0. I was worried about you.
Good.
3, 2, 1, play. I can't remember who that guy is. Oh, Yasser Arafat.
He's a name tag on.
That's the president of Libya. This is the president of Russia.
He's scrubbed up.
Union, yeah.
Ayatollah Khomeini is the leader of Iran. Give him the real Three Stooges treatment.
Starting to drip on his arms.
Leslie Nielsen's great. I wish they made more comedy movies like this.
They just don't make this style of movie anymore at all.
I'm Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad. And don't ever let me catch you guys in America.
But I feel like, we used to like none of those world leaders like made a big deal out of the Naked Gun. I just feel it's silly for you got to look at who we're dealing with. It's fucking Kim Jong-un. That guy is insane. His people don't believe he has a butthole. It's true. It's real. They really don't think he has an asshole.
That's true. It's on the Frontline Netflix or whatever it is special.
I watched that.
Frontline,
Yes.
Yeah, inside North Korea. It's really good.
The guys, it's like it's subtitled, but it's like they do not believe he has a butthole. It's just like what? What? Really?
Are you serious?
Like, yes, they don't think the guy shits. He's like running at 100% peak efficiency, so he doesn't require an asshole. Like he's Kim Jong-un. They think he's a god. It's ridiculous. So
He'd be a lot less tubby if he was really running at 100% peak efficiency.
I think so too.
Maybe
Yeah.
the reason he's tubby is that he's at 99% efficiency and he doesn't poop.
Yeah, that's
It just
probably-
accumulates.
See, over time, that accumulates.
Now, I just feel like anytime you take that guy seriously, you're making a big mistake. That guy's a troll. That guy's an internet troll in a gray suit. Like, don't take
And
it
platform
serious.
shoes.
Like the second he does anything stupid, the world is just gonna fuck him up. Don't worry about him.
Jackie made me an
Unless
ice cream
you're South
sundae
Korea.
while that movie was playing.
Let's see what you got. Let's get it. Let me make.
It
you,
appears to be like Oreo ice cream, maybe. There might be several flavors in here. We have magic shell and marshmallow topping.
All right, let me. I gotta do something. I gotta see if I can get some ice cream.
Text
Are you
Kitty.
serious?
Oh wait, never mind. Are you gonna have ice cream delivered?
I hope I'm gonna have ice cream delivered.
Dude,
You've
that's a
texted
genius
Kitty like
idea,
4
dude.
different times to have her deliver things, and I think you're
Kitty's-
at 0%
I
so
think
far.
he has an ace in the
Kitty's,
hole.
Kitty's in Colorado, so I've got a new helper. So Jeremy got his girlfriend pregnant again, and so not again since like we've all been talking about it, but it's his second.
Yeah, that would
time
make sense.
Getting her pregnant. He really wanted her to have this kid. Anyway, I think they're due soon. Anyway, that kind of ruined his life and all, and him being able to be like my like helper / assistant. But
He had
like,
such the life.
dude, he has a slow-witted friend whose name I won't use on the air, but he is.
What does it rhyme with?
perfect. I'm not gonna say because that makes it so easy. But let's just call him Steve. And then let's call him Kevin because that'll be easy, like Kevin from The Office, because he's pretty much the same speed. He's like Kevin from The Office. He talks really slowly. He's like, oh, good gracious. Well, I reckon I could be there at 10 a.m., but Sunday don't work for me, Mom and Daddy. Daddy's the deacon at the church. I got to be there for Sunday services. Can't work on a Sunday. And I'm just like texting back. I'm like, all right, we're filming it Monday. Be here 10 a.m. He replies back, filming on Monday? Question mark? Yes. Filming on Monday. See you then. 10 a.m.? I reckon I could be there by 10 or 10:15. I will be there at 10. See you there. What we doing? He's a little bit. He's so slow that like I don't know. I told him to like fill up a can of gas, and he was like, "How much gas you want?" I'm like, "Fill the truck up and then fill the gas can up. I don't care. I just need some gas." And like I come back, and he's like meticulously topping off the jug until it spills all over himself, and I have to put a plastic bag around his boot to put him in my
Kyle,
truck.
man, come on, that's not slow. That's being precise. That's being precise and being attentive. That's what that guy is, man. Come on, you gotta love that. Like he's wanting to do a
Dude,
good job.
he's $10 an hour of all the fun you can have. I'm gonna get him on the show to spin the wheel of pain if I can make it happen. We're working Monday. We're filming Monday, and I'm gonna talk to him about the wheel of pain, getting him involved. He's a nice fellow. I know I just made fun of him a bit, but it's just comical to talk to him. So hopefully I'll get this. I'm pretty sure he's 21. Yeah, I'll get him to sign some papers, get him on here to spin the wheel of pain. Hastr0, you don't know about this, but I came up with this thing. It's like a clicky. It's a wheel. You spin it, and let me get the wheel of pain. Hang on.
Yeah, let's see this.
Yeah, we really went all out with the production quality on the Wheel of Pain. You'll be impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where all the Patreon money for that month went. Into the Wheel of Pain.
I think there were magic
To
markers involved
Michael's,
and
bought a
everything.
bunch of construction
This
paper and
sounds like
beads.
it's so much. Sounds like it's so much up Kyle's alley right now. Man.
It is.
So much so
He
that
gets
he
more
actually-
excited for these crafts than he's willing to admit, I think.
Yeah.
He
So much so
really
that he
enjoys
actually
it.
stood up off the couch, which is he's making the move.
I can't.
Yeah, that's a regular thing. Every 40 minutes or so, he'll stand up to have to grab some trinket. Usually by the time he gets back,
Well,
we
they'll be
forget
like-
why we wanted to see
You
it.
couldn't just tell me about it. I have to see
A
it.
gun, a giant mannequin. There was a time when he was shooting potato guns every topic change, he would just like blast something with a potato gun.
In the house. Very
He'd be
safe.
willing to do that tonight, I bet.
Okay.
I just saw him. There he is.
What's up?
Nothing? No, we weren't talking about you at all.
I'm waiting to see this.
Oh, Taylor, I found a gun while I was back there. This was that 1911 I was going to send you forever ago. It's kind of in pieces now, but...
Well, you just
Oh,
took
this
it
is-
in pieces. We can see how that happened.
Well, I mean, like, these aren't all the pieces, though.
You're
There
like-
are more pieces that make up this gun.
These are the scissors I was going to send you. They're
Yeah.
kind of separated right now. So, what are you going to do?
So this is the Wheel of Pain.
It's
so
all
let's just
red,
say
right? There's like...
let's
Go
just say that Hastr0 was spinning the Wheel of Pain.
Do you spin it for me? Is that how it works?
I can't read the magenta or the red.
I know, but I'll help you read.
That actually really scares me. That I can't see
So
that.
it says cattle prod. You would take a jolt from a cattle prod.
So I have to
somewhere
fly down to Georgia to see you and take.
Well, no. See, when we're gonna do it, the person will be in the room with me. So I will
okay.
administer the cattle prod.
Okay.
So and you can spin the wheel as much as you'd like.
Do
so
some more spins and see how
Oh
we
yeah,
go.
I would love to
As
see that
many
again.
times as you like.
I would love
Yeah.
to. What else is on there? Just read them off. Read everything off for me.
Oh, okay. So there is the cinnamon challenge, followed by the 1 gallon of milk challenge, back
So it's
to back.
It's like a back-to-back duo.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's get a painkiller already tattoo anywhere on your body. I was gonna make it like 2 square inches, 3 square inches, something like that. Fairly big. I believe this one is 5 pickle shots. Now, pickle
Dude, I'm running out
shots.
of this game on the tattoo thing. You're gonna have to change that. I can't.
Pickle.
I wouldn't be able to do the tattoo, man. There's no fucking way I'm putting a PKA tattoo on my body.
Dude, this guy
That's
already
years of
has
explaining.
This guy already has an FPS Russia tattoo, so I felt like he was.
There's a guy with an envy tattoo.
Yeah, he totally up for it. So the red one here, this is 5 pickle shots. Now, a pickle shot is another delicacy of my former assistant, Jeremy. You do a shot of pickle juice followed by a shot of tequila, or maybe the tequila followed by the pickle juice. I don't remember which, but
That sounds better.
the delicacy
That's
is-
easy.
Now, this yellow guy here, that's $200 cash. That's
sweet.
what that's why he's
This is why we play then, right?
This is why we play the game.
Okay. All right.
This one shot in the ass with a potato gun. I've got a
dude.
pretty good potato gun. And that's the show. Yeah, I think that would be really hilarious. It could be tweaked a little, obviously. Like I made these up on the spot.
Dude, with the tattoo there, I think you need to up the yellow $200. That needs to go up, man.
You think? I've actually
think
got
so,
a guy
dude.
who will do the tattoo for free.
I'm sure there are plenty of guys like that, but I'm just saying, like, come on. If you want somebody who's actually, when you do this, I think it's like just having a bunch of crazy bastards in the room is just, it's not as appealing as if you actually had one person who was legitimately like scared and worried, but they want that money. You know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying?
You want to see someone that's actively fearful at the prospect.
Exactly, right. Like, that's the only thing that's gonna make this fun is when you see somebody's face who's just like completely just scared out of their mind that they're gonna have to, get PKA on their ass.
It wouldn't be ass. It'd be on the palm of the hand or
I had
somewhere
always
like
thought.
that.
I think on your shoulder or something like that. That's where Jeremy's Russia tattoo is. It's on his it's like on his shoulder, on his right shoulder back there.
I think Merca should get PKA tattooed on his penis, and if it's me, I'll have Painkiller Already episode 213.
Hold on a second. I want to show you guys this.
Featuring,
Keep talking.
Wheel of Pain.
I'm about to find something for you guys. I don't want
is it
to.
really gross porn? Because if so, we've probably seen it.
No. This guy got he was a guy in Navy, got an envy tattoo, like on his chest. Like it's our logo, like right here. But whatever. I'll see if I can find it or not. But guy's a nice guy. I just think he's a crazy bastard for getting that on his chest. That's all.
Yeah, that is quite a lot of commitment.
Yeah, which now every day I have to wake up knowing that I can't fail for this guy.
No, you
It's
can't.
like you can't. It's like we're a pro gaming team. You know what I mean? Like
You'd be letting the country down.
yeah, you're letting a lot of people down, man. And this guy is a Navy. He's a serviceman. So
tattoos are a big deal. Like I don't have any tattoos, and I'm hesitant to get one, not because I'm afraid it's going to hurt or that I don't think they look cool. I think it would hurt, but I wouldn't care too much, and I think they do look cool. But I don't know what I would get. I've had some thoughts. I've had some considerations. The whole Molon Labe thing interested me for a while, and then it became trendy, and everybody had one, and I didn't really want to do that. It's it's the Greek letters that say "come and take them." It's kind of a gun rights thing while being historical at the same time. I kind of like it, especially if you use the old Greek alphabet. But Jeremy just doesn't seem to give a fuck. This guy that helped me, like, he was just like, when I mentioned it, the coup de grace. So I filmed this video with him. I gave him a couple $100, and I was like, we'll tase you, pepper spray you, and shoot you with a rubber buckshot. And in my head, I'm like, he'll never do it. He'll never do it. He'll never do it. As a cherry on top, we're gonna put a tattoo on you that says "FES Russia" or something. He's like, all right, let's do it. And we fucking did it. And we tattooed that shit. I filled in half the tattoo. Like, the guy gave me the fucking tattoo gun. It was so hilarious. I'll never forget. In the most white trash tattoo parlor ever, we're in there, and like, I'm like, hey man, like, is there any way that we could film me like doing some of the tattoo? And he's like, absolutely not. First of all, that tattoo gun's $650. You feel me? You feel me? That's my baby right there. That's my baby. All right. Second of all, help board comes in here, sees you over there in the chair. What the hell are they gonna do to me? I tell you, gonna take my license right off the damn wall, take my business license, run me out of town. Nah, I can't be having that. I was like, do you have internet? He's like, yeah, right over there. Let me show you what we do. And I showed him like 3 FES Russia videos, and he goes, all right, well, you're going to want to step on that pedal, hold it like this. Now, be kind of loose in the wrist, though. And I'm just like, all right. Next thing I know, I'm fucking wearing some rubber gloves behind Jeremy going, fucking carving into his skin with a tattoo gun.
Yeah, well, look at this.
You do
in the chat. Check out
did
the
you
chat.
find it?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, wow.
I mean, it looks pretty cool.
It does. He did a good job.
Somebody did a pretty good job, I guess.
That's for life.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I'm sure.
Yeah, that is for life.
Dude, it's like
What if you had
life,
tweeted
dude.
back at him
I mean,
and been like,
guy is
that's
a
really gay?
Respectable Navy soldier that came back here to the States.
Dude,
Got this
I would
tattoo.
attend
like,
MLG stuff with no shirt on all the time.
Dude, but 30 years down the road, man, like, when your grandkids are like, grandkids are like, what's that?
All right, they can laser that shit.
This was a gaming team I liked.
Yeah, right. Like, but yeah, I guess it's
what
cool.
if
Like,
your
I'm
grandpa-
honored by it. Don't get me
What
wrong.
if your
I'm honored.
What if your grandpa had like this big, like, it looked like a pile of rabbit shit on his arm, and you're like, Grandpa, what are all those like gross black circles? Well, back in the day, I was the marbles champion.
Yeah.
I was the leader of the marble circuit back when it was the #1 game, and these are all my marble championships. Well, it looks like a bunch of rabbit shit now, Grandpa, because you're 80 years old. No one plays marbles.
Not even Kyle.
That's what I would be worried about.
No, the equivalent is, back in the day, I was really into watching marble competitions.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah, but what,
Oh, wait.
here's the deal.
Hang on a second. Please,
Okay.
I have a question. Wait,
Okay.
maybe I missed a small step. That guy doesn't play for you?
No,
That guy's a
I'm a
fan.
fan of the team.
Yeah, that's what's so mind-blowing about it.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no
dude,
way.
Don't hate on
Oh,
him.
my God.
But here's the deal. So like, this is what I'm
Oh,
hoping
no.
happens. Okay, I'm hoping
Taylor.
I'm hoping that esports gets so big and so massive that it becomes like the NFL. So that in 30 years, this is totally cool. Like, it's all right, man. You know, like if I go out and get a Dallas Cowboys tattoo, I'm not gonna get really like wrecked for that, right? Like, I mean, maybe a little bit, but you know, it's okay. Like, okay, you're from a certain area. You know, like, okay, you're from Texas.
So-
like,
so what
I
you're
mean, but this industry is so young. You guys could very well have a logo redesign. Like,
So, yeah, what you're
it's not
telling
like
your
your classic
Hastr0 is...
Dallas Star. Like, you gotta.
That's
now
what
because
concerns
this
me.
dude got
I
it.
was gonna say it. Like, one day potentially we change our logo. Like, it actually is probably gonna work out better for him because then nobody will actually know what that is, and he can make the story he wants. You know.
The funny part about this is, even in Hastr0's like wildest dreams, this guy has to have this tattoo for 30 years before it's acceptable. Hastro's like, you know, man, maybe fingers crossed. 30
That's the
years
thing,
from now,
man.
normal, but like, yeah.
I'm out there working hard though, man. I'm hoping to have it sooner than that. But you know, we have a pretty big following. You know, it's growing, it's getting bigger. You know,
No, that's awesome.
getting there. But
That's awesome. I'm not taking anything away from what
oh,
you
I
guys.
know. But that's what
I just
wait.
what he did. is above and beyond.
I think about this guy all the time, man. He like haunts my thoughts, man. I'm sitting here like this, doing like some paperwork. You know, I'm like, fuck this paperwork that I have to do. I want to just play video games and like do what we used to do. So I do all this paperwork. I'm like, man, this guy got a tattoo. I got to do this. Do this for him.
You should get an empathy tat, the same one in the same place, so that you're as cemented to it as he is.
Yeah, that'll never happen. Man.
No,
I have no tattoo.
If there was some, I would like some motivation to get a tattoo. Like if someone paid me money to get a tattoo, I think I could. I need that excuse. You know what I mean? Like some reason for me to. I don't want to be judged on the decision. Does that make sense? I think that's a little tiny part of it.
Be like, well, I did it because so and so gave me this or that.
Yeah,
to own it and be like, oh, I was such a big fan of Team Envy that I had them bolted on my chest forever and ever.
Here's a couple examples of tattoos that I think are really cool. I watched the movie Knockaround Guys. Vin Diesel's in it, and they're basically like sons or nephews of like connected mobsters, and they get in a little trouble. And he's half Jewish, and he's got the Star of David tattooed on his arm, and it looks so fucking cool. Of course, I'm not Jewish, so I could never get something like that. But if you're Jewish, you could totally rock the Star of David, and it would look cool. Also, I think like most military tattoos, like the Marine Corps stuff, that all looks cool. But you gotta be in the fucking Marine Corps.
Yeah, you have to earn that.
You have to earn that, yeah. And so like none of those are options for me. So I'm left with like what, like some silly thing I come up with my imagination, or maybe something I'm a big fan of. But look at the things I'm a fan of. They're pretty lame, and you wouldn't want to. They're so cliche. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, get some gun emblem?
Yeah,
like,
get a Georgia Bulldogs G that looks like Green Bay as you age.
If I had gone All-American in swimming, I was thinking of getting that logo. You probably don't know it, but there's like an eagle, and he's perched on maybe a shield that says All-American or something. But I didn't, so I didn't. And then I thought about getting like a YouTube thing. There was a time when YouTube was so big in my head, and I was really proud of the fact that I got 1 million subs, and I was like, maybe I'll do a gold play button, or maybe I'll do the YouTube logo, which could always change. And I don't know. Since then, I'm kind of glad I didn't do it.
Yeah. I never considered getting any tattoos that were related to like any persona or any company or anything like that. The only one I really considered was the Molon Labe thing. I thought that was cool, and that was about it. I really don't. Nothing. I'll show you. I'll just link you.
Okay.
And that wouldn't even have to be a very big tattoo. That could be a little one you put somewhere where nobody wouldn't see it, or nobody would see it rather.
Yeah, there was a time when 1 million subs was a really exclusive club. Like I think when I got it, I was like the 112th largest channel in the world or something like that. Now, every generation of YouTubers like surpasses the numbers of the one before it. Like, I'm glad I didn't get a tattoo. Like there's gonna be a time when little 12-year-old squeakers are getting 1 million subs just because.
Yeah, wouldn't you feel like a real dick 30 years from now? Like, this is when I got 1 million subs. It's like, Grandpa, I've got 3.4. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Posted a picture of my cat shitting and got 500,000 this morning. Get with the times.
That's exactly it. I did a review on a new sofa lounge. 1 million people wanted to see it. It'll be
unboxing of my hovercraft.
Is this actually like modern Greek, Kyle? Or is this like
the I think it's like ancient Greek. It's different stuff though. That's just a bunch of different ones. But like I like the ones that are like the more like the old Greek letters. And I don't know about the Spartan helmet and everything, but I kind of just like the letters.
The Spartan helmet is the one that appealed to me, but.
Well, like I'm Egyptian, man. I could have gone crazy, Like there's so many like symbols and hieroglyphics and all this crazy stuff. Like I could have gone tattooed on my body,
that's
right?
true.
Like I could have done all sorts of stuff. Like Egyptian.
Could have gotten some crazy Egyptian shit on there.
Yeah, but I stayed away from it, man.
Maybe get like an all-seeing eye at the top of your neck and like get a whole Illuminati thing going too.
Yeah.
And make you really mysterious. Like maybe you could like use that to recruit and stuff. Like you could bring that up and you could look, there's a higher power here working through me.
I'm sure there's something like completely badass that I could have found, but
is Eon still a thing?
It is.
It is. Well,
it is.
That seemed like a less than full throttle. It is.
I mean, we focus on our teams as businesses more so than that, and I don't know if we kind of keep it going on the long run, but yeah, I mean, we still we're doing some business, and yeah.
It always seemed like Optic and Envious were kind of, I don't know if sister teams is the right term, but yeah, like.
No, I wouldn't say that, but we were trying to,
there
like
was a time when that seemed to be true.
Well, this was a really, it's still a young space, right? Like we were just trying to work together to grow faster, and just I wouldn't say we were working together in terms of like being in collusion, but we were trying to, I guess, be progressive with, bringing more dollars into the scene and to help.
I feel like
other
there was
gamers
a time
and
where, like, if
run.
a player didn't show, you might look to each other's rosters to, help out the short team, or.
I wouldn't say we really conspired together to do that.
Well,
it just kind of happened that the quality of the player was.
Not the word I'm looking for. They just seemed like they were. I don't know. Your friendship was tighter with, Optic than maybe some other team.
Yeah, but we're like still rivals. Like we play each other. Like, and our fans, like they kind of take on to that a little bit. Obviously, we're still all friends, really good friends, and we all go out and we can have a dinner together, have some drinks, and like legitimately just a couple Optic guys and a couple Envy guys can sit down at a table and we eat together and have a drink and talk, and we talk about things that are going on. And I think the whole Call of Duty esports scene, all the pros have turned into it's turned into more of like a fraternity. I think like people like to see each other at events, hang out with each other, but then it's really what's really neat about it is that when those guys get in the booth and they start playing against each other, like all that stuff goes out the window, and you really want to beat that guy. Like I think that fuels it even more. It's like if you have a brother, like that kind of competition where you have that rivalry with your brother. It's that, right? Like
who's on your roster right now?
We have Clayster, JCap, Merc, and Nameless.
Where's Rambo?
Rambo is working for Sledgehammer Games now.
He left the pro scene.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, and he still works with our team. So yeah.
Right. He. It seems like Rambo's bounced around from team to team, but he's never left an enemy behind. Every time he leaves a team, they pretty much wish him well.
Yeah, he hasn't been on too many teams, to be quite honest. I mean,
Optic.
He's only been on like 3 or 4. Yeah, Extravagant, Optic, Envy. I really don't think those are his major teams.
I didn't mean to imply it happened all the time, but yeah, he hasn't been on too many teams, but he's been in a bunch of trades in my head. I don't know more than normal, but it seems like Optic dropped him and picked him up a half a dozen times.
Yeah, we had like Scumpy was actually on Envy before he played for Optic,
and so after he played for Optic.
Yeah, and Nate Shot played for Optic first, and then we had a stint with him for a few events in Black Ops 1 where Nate Shot played for Envy, and then he went back to Optic, and then
I told you. You denied it a minute ago, but I'm like, yeah, man, you guys used to like players would go back and forth. Rambo was
yeah, it happens. But yeah, we've had players obviously like go back and forth between the organizations, and I mean, honestly, it's about finding chemistry amongst teammates in a specific game, and that's what it's all about. But yeah, anyway.
Let's see here.
What did I have?
It turns out that according to the Washington Post, anyway, they rated the 34 worst countries in Europe. Second to last is Ireland.
Oh, here we go again.
Ireland.
The Ireland thing. So what?
Second to last is Ireland.
They're the worst at what? Overall?
Let me see. Let's see. Let me go through how they found this ranking. It's pretty great. Quality of life and employment opportunities. Oh, that's great.
Wow,
great.
I did not know you were. So Hastr0, so just in case you didn't know, about 2 weeks ago, Kyle was goofing around and said Ireland was terrible, and then everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that about my country. So last week he doubled down. It was like Ireland is terrible, and like backed it up with some stats or like the country size or something like that. Apparently Ireland's smaller than Atlanta in terms of population and such. And he was right. And I did not see this coming. The tripling down of Ireland smashing.
So Kyle, before you go on your rant, who was the worst country? I know second worst is Ireland. Who's worst?
I actually didn't click it. All right, I did click it. I didn't read that far into it. I didn't care who was the worst. I looked for Ireland right away. Like I pressed Control F, found Ireland, and straight in on them. I also read a few things about the potato famine, and the numbers there were just humiliating. It was like, just because they didn't grow enough potatoes one year, like half of them died. Like that's literally what happened. Like they didn't grow enough potatoes, and half of the Irish people died. This is an island off the coast of. Don't get me embroiled in that whole UK versus Britain thing, but it's an island off the coast there, surrounded by waters full of fish. But they ran out of taters, and half of them fucking starved.
Dude, that can't be right. It was half? Really?
Yeah, let's potato famine.
Do you think it's too soon?
Statistics. No, it's not. That was like 1860, 1880, something like that. Let me find.
Was it really? I had in my head it was in. I don't know at all. I was surprised to learn it was that far back.
The Great Irish Potato Famine. Oh man!
I'm trying to find this thing.
During the years from 1845 to 1850, around 800,000 people died of starvation or of other famine-related diseases such as typhus, dysentery, scurvy, or pellagra. A further 2 million people immigrated. They fucking left. Unlike earlier famines in which the population recovered quickly from the catastrophe and continues to grow, the after effects of the Great Irish Famine were such that the population of Ireland, starting at 8.2 million people in 1841, declined to 6.6 million by 1851. That's 10 years. They lost, 1.6 million people. 50 years later, Ireland's population was still showing a decline, down to 4.5 million. And it's still going. Like, you guys are losers, Ireland. I don't know what you want me to say.
Wow.
Kyle. Poor Ireland. But say a good thing about Ireland. We'll treat it like therapy. I know you hate them, but what's a good thing about them? I want you to say 2 good things about Ireland.
I don't think they suffered any casualties during World War II.
Oh my God!
Good starter. Good way to start. Positive. Now
he's knocking them for being war
neutral.
pussies.
I know.
They're fucking neutral. Apparently, I was wrong. The Irish did figure out a way to make liquor out of potatoes. Contributed to the famine, I believe. They had a special word for it, though. I always heard it called like potato vodka. They have a special word for their potato liquor, I guess.
Their accents are awesome.
They're Irish.
There.
You're thinking of Scotland.
No, Irish accents are pretty cool, I think.
They're pretty. They're okay.
Hard to understand in those like live leak or YouTube videos if shit's going down. It's like they're not even speaking English. And this is when they'll say, well, we were speaking this kind of English before you were, or some douchey comment.
Fuck those people.
I've met some Irish people. They were awesome, man. They were awesome people.
Don't you talk about that with Kyle.
Yeah.
We'll end this podcast right now.
I'm like countering Kyle right now. I didn't know they were so rare, though.
I have a good amount of Irish blood in me.
Rarer every year.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. My grandmother came here from Ireland.
30 years from now, COD Esports, you'll be able to get a tattoo. Nobody will think shit about it. Get a big logo on yourself, but there will be no Irish left in the world.
What are they going to use Ireland as once they're all gone? What do you think? What do you propose?
Leper colony.
Leper colony?
Yeah,
Ireland has the highest rate of cystic fibrosis in Europe.
Really?
Oh, man, you guys are just wrecking them right now.
I'm not. That's just fact. I was trying to find Kyle's thing, and it was what every country was worst at.
There's no rabies. There's no rabies in the UK. The whole island there. No rabies.
We could turn it into a positive and say Ireland is best at cystic fibrosis.
Well, that's a hard one to spin.
There you go.
All right, so fuck Ireland. That's that for the night.
Do you want to talk about the presidential elections?
No.
Do
dude,
I?
Yeah,
No,
all right.
No. Come on, man.
No?
Oh, come
How
on.
many times do I get the chance to come over here and talk to you guys? And I haven't talked to you in so long. Let's not talk about presidential election. Come on.
But we hate them all. We hate every possible
I'm
candidate.
sure, man. Oh, God.
It looks like
Can I just request a pass?
Wow, you're really hardcore about this? We've got fun stats. We were looking up stuff and...
Dude, when's the next show?
Yeah.
Wow.
dude,
Uh,
I don't want to talk about.
You just don't like politics, or you just hate talking
No,
about it?
I follow politics. Like, I'm not. I wouldn't say like adamantly, but I read the news every day, and yeah, I mean, it's just something I think is just completely like boring right now. So, but anyway, go ahead. Well, if you guys want to talk about it, go ahead. I won't.
All right, so it looks.
Proceed.
Well, now I'm not into it.
Your show.
So once again, there are Bushes and Clintons. Jeb Bush is talking about making a run for it. Mitt Romney's talking about coming back again on the Republican ticket. Then on the Democratic side, you have another fucking Clinton. You've got Hillary Clinton, and there's always a few other people have said Joe Biden and a few others. But now it's looking like a Hillary Clinton, maybe Jeb Bush face-off, which would be insane. And Woody looked up this little statistic. Hit him with it, Woody.
There hasn't been a successful GOP ticket without a Bush or a Nixon on it since the 1950s. Since the 1950s, a Nixon or a Bush was on the ticket, or the Democrats won. Bam! That's a thing. I can even run through it. I have it here in front of me. Eisenhower won in 1960, and Nixon was his vice president. That was 8 years. Nixon was president in 1968, so that was 4 years. And then I think he got reelected, but he didn't serve his second term. Yep. So then Ford did that, but he wasn't elected. Ford didn't win the reelection. Carter took over. The next guy, now we go into the Bush League. Reagan took it in 1980s, served for 8 years with Bush Sr. as his VP. Bush Sr. or the VP became the president. That's 4 more years. Then they lose for a while, and the Clintons rock it. And then Bush Jr. takes it, and he rocks 8 years. It's been since 1950s. There hasn't been a successful GOP ticket without a Bush or Nixon.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Let me ask something,
We sit back and laugh at royal families across the country.
Right.
We're like these Saudi princes, we're like, princes? What? And they get a piece of the GDP? That's insane. And, the British monarchy and all that. Meanwhile, you've got the same little group of people running this country for decades.
Let me ask something. What about the House and Senate control, though? Look at those stats.
Oh, if you did that, you'd see
that.
similar patterns, I bet. Like, really disgusting stuff. It's rough.
Well, yeah, it's bad. That's right.
Quite bad.
All right, so now that we've hit politics, as exciting and fun as that was, and depressing as well. All right, so I want to talk about the next PKA trip thing we're going to do.
Okay.
So there are two ideas. One is that we could do the paintball thing. I and Kitty have contacts with paintball people in Canada who are interested in maybe doing something. I'll email her tomorrow and find out where that's going. But that was a possible trip where basically the crew would go play some paintball somewhere and have like a fan meetup as well. And then I think what we're going to do as far as videos next time is have an actual
crew
videographer, basically.
Yeah,
like we'll have a guy there whose job is to be, he's got 8 memory cards and 3 batteries, and he's just shooting us, and like he's responsible for making stuff happen, and he's, we storyboard everything out to begin with, and he edits and gets it up in a timely fashion, and so that side of things will be better because we're kind of learning as we go with this thing.
Yeah,
that's
shoot Aviator a message.
Yeah. He tweeted me. He thought it was funny.
Wait, what did I just miss? Who tweeted you?
Aviator, because we admitted that I was the one that shot him at paintball and pissed him off that time.
Oh, okay. What did he say?
he was like, ha, you're the one that shot me, you jerk, blah blah blah, like something like funny and.
He's probably over it by now. The anger subsided. You're right.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
So paintball, I would love to do, especially in Canada, because I bet it's still chilly up there. I like it cold when I play. I want it to hurt. Also, I am not opposed to some sort of and I've always been clear on this since. I guess I haven't always been clear on it, but I would be okay with anything from hardcore survival to borderline camping, anywhere in between, and doing it anywhere in the world, frankly, also with a videographer, and Hastr is going to come too.
Damn.
He's going to live on the land, and he's going to...
I was almost an Eagle Scout, man. I could do it.
What? Now that's the kind of skills we need.
Yeah, I would have been an Eagle Scout had I not had to move.
What were you?
I got to Life, I believe.
Life. Is that the one right before Eagle?
It's either the one right before or the one or second to the last before Eagle.
Yeah, what did you still need to do to make the Eagle Scout?
I was literally about to start doing like my Eagle project, like maybe within 2 months before I moved. So I was born and raised in East Texas. I lived there until I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
So and I was basically in the same Boy Scout troop, I guess, my whole life. From Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts, and then boom, gotta move. Family's got to move. You're gone. I didn't know anybody where I went. I was done.
I was a Boy Scout too. I was first class, which is 2 ranks below life. It looks like it goes from first class to star
right before Eagle.
What's that?
Was life right before Eagle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before that.
Taylor, were you a scout at all?
I was not.
I was a Cub Scout until my father started to dislike the way that some of the other boys' fathers were looking at my mother, who was a den mother or some kind, and I had to stop being a Cub Scout to fix that problem.
Oh, I was one kind of scout. When I was younger, my parents made me go to this like religious camp, and they knew that like all the guys like really wanted to be Eagle Scouts because we were young and that was cool. And it's like when you heard that, it's like, oh, you get to go start fires and shoot animals and make weapons or whatever you imagine from the outside. But they tried to trick us because apparently they thought we were retarded, and they'd be like, all right, you're gonna earn your Solomon badge by giving this taco to a homeless guy. And it's like, no, this is horseshit. My parents fooled me into this nonsense. I'm not gonna do your good deed Jesus nonsense just to get these meaningless tokens.
Dude,
look at this injured man. Let's get the Good Samaritan badge.
Yeah, the Good Samaritan. What was the other things they wanted us to do? It was like, there was like a badge for memorizing scripture as if going out into the wilderness. It was like, when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Yes. When I was homeschooled, for 7th and 8th grade, and let's see, I'm trying to think what year that would have been. I'm 28, and it's 2014, so 10 years ago, 5 years, so 15 years ago. So 1998, 1999, somewhere in there, there weren't as many homeschooling programs, so we had to find a Christian one. And part of my homeschool, like learning materials was fucking scripture. And I remember, I memorized one of them, and I was just like, Mom, let's just not do the scripture part anymore. Just not even. I was like, I'm not doing that. I was like, let's do math, and let's do like literature, and that's it. I was like, I'll watch the Discovery Channel, watch the History Channel, I'll get that down. Math and English. That's all we did for 2 years, and I was fine.
Dude, when I was a kid, there was something. So there was a group, and it sounded like the coolest thing in the world. It was St. Peter's Youth, but they called it Spy, right? So Spy sounded like fucking like you were just in there, like sneaking on people. And we went to a camp, but the camp was run by this like military guy. And I shit you not, like one of the things that really got me as a kid is he was able to jump off unusually tall things. Like there'd be like a 14-foot wall, and he had like some army training, so he could jump off and roll in such a way that now like every parkour dude is doing it. But at the time it was like, whoa, that's pretty high to jump off of. I think I want to be a part of Spy. And we went to this like overnight week-long camp, and my entire goal in this camp was to get laid. I'm like 13 or something, and I didn't even get kissed. But yeah, that was my Spy experience. Nobody did, dude. Like
nope. I'm not judging you.
We never we never really had the freedom to go out. Like there were girls and there were boys, and anytime you mix them, good stuff can happen. But we never got any freedom to like make a go of it. There were girls, I don't know, making eyes at, and the eyes would return. Like one time, basically for like 15 minutes, we were allowed to like be alone to pray. And and I couldn't make anything happen.
That guy jumping off of the tall buildings reminded me of another thing that I had to deal with. Like, because that was clearly his attempt to be like, look how hardcore this is, and like jumping off, and it's like, wow, I'm gonna be like that too if I memorize First Ecclesiastes. Like, I had to go to some shit where like the whole first like 45 minutes, like my mom been telling me like, oh, it's like there's the strongman competition. It was just like that Workaholics episode. Yes. And I went, and there was just these people like bending huge bars and like heaving giant stones to each other. And like as a little kid, you're pumped. You're like, oh my god, this is so tight. This is so tight. And of course, there's like a cross and an organ in the background. And then like the big guy will walk up and tear the phone book. He's like, all right. Now we're getting to the important stuff. I want you all to open your Bibles to Mark 23. And it's like, oh no. We've been hoodwinked. Like, they tricked us into scripture. Like, oh, it was awful. such a letdown.
You guys ready to get pumped? Yeah!
There was no
You
finale.
guys ready to get crazy?
Yeah.
We'll crack those Bibles to Psalms!
Yeah. That's just what it was like. Your little kid mind and
I've
heart is
done
just
it.
racing with excitement, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Stolen from you.
Dude, after that night, I kept one of the bricks they broke. They signed the brick and gave it to me, and I kept it in my closet for like
You went to one of those too?
4 years. Yeah, for like 4 years I kept the brick. And I don't know what I was thinking. Like this will be worth something someday. It's Jimmy the Brick Breaker Martin. He hit it. Like, what the fuck? They came in there. They broke baseball bats. They broke. They bent iron rebar. They smashed bricks. They tore phone books in half.
Oh, they blew a hot water bottle up till it exploded.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
those-
Like for the run capacity.
I think they had a set routine to trick children. Now,
And it was like-
since it's all setting up right here, they just studied what we paid attention to and then turned it into Jesus at the last second.
That's funny.
It was.
So,
It was
so
awful.
back to the trip. So you wanted to take a survival trip.
Keeping us on track.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I don't know if I'd really agree to it just yet, but it just depends when and where. It can't be in the winter because I hate cold weather now. But yeah, like I'm used to it, man. I can do this, Kyle. So I don't know if I'm going to be entertaining though, man. If you're trying to make this an entertainment. You know
Well,
think?
I think the scenario. So here's the scenario I'm imagining, and if it's the paintball thing, you're welcome to come along with something like that too.
I like that one more even because it includes fans.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I won't bitch out like Jordy did.
Oh, shots
To
fired.
it. No offense, Jordy, but I just won't do it.
Oh, you
I'm
can't
not gonna-
say
if I-
no offense. That's like
if
the
I-
no homo
Oh.
background. Like, I'll tell
Yeah,
you
I
what,
guess.
I will lick half your penises, not the other half. No homo.
Oh man.
We could do 2 trips potentially, but I think the paintball one would be the best one to incorporate like the fans, and everybody would get to meet us. Everybody would get to like literally hang out with us for the day. And paintball is like a fun community kind of thing as well. The survival thing I think would be more like, I don't know. I just think it'd be cool to do. I think it would be as much fun for us to do as it would be for viewers to watch. And like my idea for it is, out in the woods somewhere with basic stuff and like killing animals and eating them and building a shelter and kind of chilling out for a few days. And I think that would be fun too. But the paintball one would be more fun and we'd probably get paid. So I'm leaning that way.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I'd probably be more down for the survival thing than paintball thing, just because
Scared.
I don't want to sound like
Scared. Right.
a douche. No, it's just I to find the time to go do something like right now, I just can't just make a break to go to do some paintballing. I mean, I'll obviously love to hang out with you guys, but I think the survival thing is something I could attach myself to because I don't know. I want to do that at some point. I want to go out there and just be
That's
a
how
man, and I miss that
Did
stuff,
you say
man.
be a man?
Be a man, dude. Like, go back to like being a man. Just relying on your wits, man. And I went camping once a month for like 9 straight years of my life, or like 8 straight years of my life. I think maybe 7 or 8 years. So I would take a camping trip once a month. It didn't matter the season.
Oh, did you bring food?
Probably 11 months out of the year. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like Boy Scout related, right?
Okay.
But I did learn. I will say this. I think the Boy Scouts organization. I think it's awesome. As long as like you're in a solid area that have good people there to teach you, and I think it was like invaluable to me, man. Like it's priceless the amount of stuff I learned through that. Like just even basic survival stuff. Like I still remember. Like if you don't have water in an arid climate, for example, right? I still remember this trick. You dig a hole and you take a piece of cloth like your shirt and you cover the hole with the shirt and you put a cup or some kind of container at the bottom of the hole like 3 feet deep, and the moisture, you're creating moisture and condensation in the shirt, and you can squeeze it out, make water, overnight, right? So like with the weather change, like dude, little things like that. If there's ever a zombie apocalypse, I'm good to go, man. Like I got at least a little bit more skill. So, but yeah, I'm down for some survival.
All right, well, we'll definitely tap you if we make that survival trip thing happen. Our biggest holdup right now is Woody just bought like a gigantic fucking mansion, like
An estate.
an estate. Like we were looking at it a minute ago. Taylor, you saw that room that he was like, "This is like the nicest room in the house," and we're looking to do this and that. That room's astounding, right? Like that looks like
It is a beautiful room.
Like
Top
if you saw it in a magazine and someone was like, "Yeah, this is President Obama's summer home," you'd be like, "Oh, cool, that's a nice house Obama has,
yeah,
right?"
you wouldn't second guess it. You'd be like, or if someone said like, "This is where, fucking Ashton Kutcher stays in November," you'd be like,
Sure.
"Wow, of course he does.
Yeah.
That guy. Like, this is Woody's place."
Yeah, but it's Woody's place. So he's been getting that thing all together. And as soon as he's like, because he's run into a lot of difficulties getting his internet thing done. It's a long story, but anyway, when all that's done, his time's going to be freed up, and I'm about to free up some time myself. So I really want to do both those trips if possible. Definitely the paintball thing, and I'd love to get a survival trip done where there's like an hour, like hours worth of video. Like we were talking to what's Wings videographers? What's that guy's name?
Patrick.
So Patrick had contacted us about doing that for us, and I think we're kind of leaning toward him as far as candidates to do that sort of thing, and I think he'd do a pretty good job. So if we get around to doing that, I think that having him out there in the woods with us, it would make for some good videos. But the paintball thing is definitely the one that
One of the things Patrick did is he brought like a schedule. He's like, here's what I do. We do this sort of like pre-trip vlog and this, and then as you eat dinner, as you prepare food, we'd get this footage, and as you did that, and it was like, wow, I would love to have the amount of content and the quality content and the thought that he put into like the sequence, and he clearly listened to some of the feedback, and he would make it great. He'd be worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
You take guns?
Yes.
Yeah, we took guns last time. I think this time I've got before then I didn't have a lot of silencers, but like since then I've gotten a bunch of fucking silencers. So I think this time, whatever we do, I think we should do it in Georgia. If we do a survival trip, Georgia's the place to do it because it's close to me, and I got all these crazy guns, and I got silencers for them, and you can hunt with silencers in Georgia now. So we could do like I just think that'd be really fun.
I got a hunter's license. I don't know. Does that help in Georgia? Can you get? Is that relevant at all? Or would I just be under your umbrella of hunting license? How does that?
You got your hunter safety thing. So now you can get a
right.
license in Georgia. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's cool. I got a lifetime one. It came with a card, so it says. On the card, you can pick any license number you want, and here you can put any text. So I made my license number 007, and it says "License to kill or be killed." It's fucking awesome.
It's pretty awesome. So yeah,
they have bears in Georgia.
In North Georgia, there's some black bears, I think, or maybe they're brown bears. I've never seen a bear in the wild.
Maybe black bears in the South like that, right?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is black bears. I don't know anything about them. I know like basic bear shit. I've watched enough Discovery Channel to know bear shit, but like I've never seen a bear. I wouldn't want to shoot one if I saw one, honestly. The kinds of things that I wanted to shoot for this thing to survive on were like rabbits and squirrel and maybe some
turtles.
I'm not saying let's go out to the woods and murder bears. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, we can if you want to. Like you say the word. If that's a breaking point for you, if you're like, man, look, bear murder, there's either gonna be bear murder or I'm not fucking coming, bro. Like,
and it's not murdering if you're using all the parts. If you eat the bear and then fashion a quilt of some sort for the wild.
What if you made like a whole thing? Remember that movie we watched, The Edge?
Yeah.
With, What if you went ahead and like constructed a whole bear costume, like the bear clothes, and with the claws on your chest on the necklace? That'd be cool. Yeah.
That would be cool.
I've got a topic.
This was my train of thought. It was like, okay, we'll go do some survival stuff. Are we going to have guns? Because if we don't have guns and they're bears, that's not good, You always want to have a gun if you're going out into the wilderness.
That's why...
We probably have more guns than people. That's how we roll.
Yeah, okay, good. We're taking our guns. That's
it's usually kind of silly. Like I'm often the one when we do things like this that doesn't even bring a gun because I know everybody else is going to be like overgunned. So like Wings was bringing a gun to the survival thing. Like I don't think I brought a gun. Woody brought a 22 rifle and a 357 handgun.
And we left the shotgun in the truck. But I think Wings was probably going to come strapped too. Like, oh yeah,
we were gonna be out there, no food, very little water, just like, if Al Qaeda came out here, we just massacre them. They ain't ready for this shit. It'd be like
dude, I want to watch this video with Hastr0 here. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
I am.
Let me queue up.
Tell me when you're queued up at 0, and let me set the stage. So, there's two gamers here. They're competitive gamers, and they play Street Fighter, I think. And one guy is kind of big and muscular, and he's calling out the smaller guy. Are you familiar with this, Hastr0?
No, I'm not.
So he's calling him out and like challenging him on Twitter and such, and they kind of basically, I don't know if this thing tells everything, but they played online, and the bigger, stronger guy, the black guy, just to clarify, I'm trying not to say that, he won like to 5, but then they just kept playing, and he lost like 20-6 or something. But now this is it for real. This is the big challenge. They meet each other in competition. It's go time. And this guy, the bigger, stronger guy, is being a bully about it. He's the one who brought on the challenge, who called the other guy out, called him names, said he looked like he had cancer or something, never got outside. You'll see. The white guy is not as handsome as the black guy. You guys ready to hit play?
Let's do it.
Ready, set, play.
You know me as low tier God.
Look at that fucking loser.
That's how I know you as. Now,
I'm uncomfortable watching these
tell
people.
us a little bit about
know, right? This
what
white
the
guy
hell
is
is
the
going on
worst.
here, man.
First off,
his
I
haircut in
played
the
this
back.
has-been online with his dad jeans. Played him online. He played my 2-week-old Rolento. The original score was 5-3. And then he wanted to keep playing. It was a set, an original set is 5, first to 5, right? That's what sets are, correct? He wanted to keep playing. I said, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to keep playing this dude's Blanca. Okay, the final score 20-6, but it was a troll session. Original score 5-3. So I went on Twitter, called this guy out, called him a has-been, called him a rape face, Charles Manson, anything you could think of.
Rape
this
face?
dude looks like a fucking
Rape
zombie
face.
out of The Walking Dead. Then he comes here dressed like he got his outfit out of fucking Target. So, as simple as that, I made a video. The first guy I could think of on why gamers were single was Viscon. This dude looks like he lives in his basement. He looks like he never gets sun. He
Just
could
finished
possibly
putting
be a
chapstick
fucking vampire. So after that, he goes on Twitter.
That just
he
made it
starts
so much
e-thugging.
better.
You don't know me. As simple as that. You could call me a bitch online all you want, but in real life, this isn't a fucking game. As simple as that. You say it to my face right now.
Oh, wow.
Look at him.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm getting a little.
You're getting too high. And that's it. That's it. And Jay is popping off. He is popping off right now.
Look, I got one more thing to say.
Oh no.
So, there's gonna come a point when you forget about what happened, and you're gonna want to come back at me, and you're gonna want to wash the taste of my dick out of your mouth.
Oh.
The funeral is over. And all the tears are it's hanging deep on the cut, getting fired up.
Dude, the whole
Oh my god, that was actually fucking awesome to watch. But yeah, I don't think that was really.
Oh, it was cringy, but satisfying.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I love it. And so apparently the white guy like volunteers all his time at a soup kitchen and can't like get a tan or something. But that's his real life. He spends his time like I guess playing games, helping the homeless, and going to school or something. And the black guy's like, you can't get a girlfriend. Yeah.
The fact that he was getting berated like that, and then it pans over to him, and he's just standing there with his big oversized cargo shorts with the oversized
this is
shirt
what
tucked
I was
in.
thinking.
It was bloused, not tucked in, now bloused out, and it's just him.
Sorry, I didn't cut you off, but that's my exact.
The dry
thing.
air. I
No,
can't
that's the
smack
thing, when he
talk
said
with my
he's
lips
like-
crack.
When he said the dude got his like outfit from Target, I'm like thinking like, what could that look like? He's off camera. And, like no, like I rarely buy clothes at Target, but maybe I have in the past, like once or twice. Really never would wear an outfit out, but who cares, man? But when the camera panned to him, I'm like, yeah, he's got it right. That kind of looks like.
Also, when the camera panned to him, you knew immediately that he was going to win. Just like if you'd pan to the black guy after the white guy was talking trash, if it was a pre-fight video, you'd be like, yeah, that guy's gonna eat him alive. Because it was a gaming video. You see that guy, and you're like, that guy doesn't. The thought of what other people perceive him like when he leaves the house, not even there. Not even there. Doesn't care. This guy's gonna win.
There. That's fucking X-Cal on the other side of the room. While you're lifting weights, he's fucking getting XP, bitch.
Yeah. So let me say this, because I guess we're representing some esports here. Like, I don't think that like personifies esports whatsoever. Like, I'm gonna post a video here for you guys to watch, and maybe we don't have to watch the whole thing, but I think this is like what I think. If somebody had to ask me what I think esports is about, I would link them this video.
I was so hoping it was going to be you and Parasite arguing.
No, dude, no. No, this is actually like what I feel like is the positive side of esports. So I don't know if you guys want to watch it, but
we'll check it out. Are you ready to hit
you
play?
don't have to watch the whole thing. Let's maybe watch 2 minutes of it.
All right, ready, set, play.
Yeah, but this is the positive side. There's always got to be, positive
But I like
side.
the sad side. I want to see the guy who, like, this is the end of his life now.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a big envy tattoo.
But the real side of it,
Oh, no.
it's really, people work. A lot of these like top professional teams are very mature, very good representatives, and they work really hard. Like, they train very, very hard to be the best at what they do.
I'm still waiting for Scumpy to stand up and tell everyone that you all suck. I'm the best this game's ever seen. It's easy for me. This is like pub stomping.
Did he do that? Did someone do that?
I probably have the quote off, but it's something like that. Like, I
don't
think
think
Scumpy
he
earned... What's that?
I don't think Call of Duty is in this video whatsoever. I mean,
Oh.
the real big side of esports has always been the PC kind of gaming side of, StarCraft, Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Dota. Like, that's really the bigger side of esports. I think a lot of people in that Call of Duty community are really blind to that. Like, they don't understand that Call of Duty is relatively kind of new as a burgeoning esport. Like, as a big
intellectually, I fully know that, but it's almost hard for me to see. Like, all right, I get it. Like, League of Legends is clear, right? When it does a thing, that thing enters my, sphere of not influence, whatever the opposite of is that, of notice. But I don't know why it just feels like COD is as big as those things, even though it's not pulling the same numbers or such. And I hear about it. People are talking about it. I guess I'm just embedded in what people.
Yeah, I mean, this video, although maybe not entertaining, like, I guess can't get a good laugh out of it and make fun of some nerds. I mean, at the end of the day, like, there are some people who are like, serious people. It's serious business, and they take it like a sport, and they're just normal people. Some of them look like supermodels, some of them look like ultra nerds. It's like
that's what gamers really look like. Like the Optic team in particular, a lot of those guys are super into fitness. It seems like if you lived at the Optic house, you'd suddenly get like big pecs or something. Like, they're just being part of the deal. They're all going to the gym together and doing their thing. Didn't Big Timer challenge people to push-up contests or something? Like, I saw that online.
Oh, I don't know.
1v1.
He was crushing people. Dude, if Big Timer challenged me to a push-up contest, I would just try not to embarrass myself. I don't know. Talk my way out of it.
There's like this Gears of War pro. His name was like High Distortion. Let me tell this story really quick. All right, so High Distortion is like this. The Gears of War community is kind of known to be a little rough, right? Like,
Okay.
it's a little rough. It's a little bit rougher of a community, and High Distortion, dude, this guy is massive. So at some event, I think it was like MLG Dallas. I was in the crowd, and like some girl is like talking smack to a player who's on the main stage playing, and he starts calling her names from the main stage. And so like this guy High Distortion is just cock diesel. This guy is massive, man. Like, he's scary big. I'll see if I can find a picture of him. But he, starts getting in, defending her and whatever, and this fight like pours out outside after the match is done, right? And High Distortion rips a sign out of the parking lot concrete, like rips like a road sign out and starts swinging it at this guy like the Incredible Hulk. And it was like it was literally like one of the craziest things that ever happened to me. It was probably crazy. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in an event. He never made contact with the guy, and so like never really fully assaulted him, so everything was all right. But the fact that this guy would rip out like you know, a road sign and start swinging at somebody, just let me know, like, all right, you know, it's a pretty diverse crowd right here.
So someone scolded a chick from the stage, and he tore something out of the ground and swung it at the guy. That is next level white knighting. Next level.
I'd love to see that in a video, like set to music, like the one we just watched.
Yeah. like the music that doesn't match.
No, and they need to splice it into the same video where they're saying like, "This is sports." And it shows like the people yelling about StarCraft, and it's like, this is esports. A guy swinging a stop sign at some other dude with a pocket protector on.
I have him on Skype, man. I was just trying to find this picture of him, and it's like, yeah,
that's really funny.
He's a big dude. Great. All you need to know is he's a big, huge dude that you would not want to mess with. But yeah, so like, yeah, you have like some guys who are like 16-year-old, like completely nerdy-looking guys in esports, you know, little chubby guys or something, and then you got, you know, guys, like I said, look like supermodels, and you got another guy who's just like some crazy, looks like a UFC fighter that would crush you in the heavyweight division, you know? And it's like, I think that's what's cool about esports, man, is that you have people that are from every like walk of life, and yeah, it's just competition. You can do it from home, so you get that. Like you can start somewhere whereby
it is cool. It's got the biggest range of who could participate of any event like that.
Right. Yeah,
like
absolutely.
There's no other competition really anywhere where, you know, tiny little girl, 5'2" Korean girl can face off against a guy like whatever, Total Destruction or whatever he said his name was.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing they could do. Maybe chess, but
ping pong.
Not very exciting.
Yeah. Kyle's loving that ice cream, man. I can just tell right now.
It's so fucking good.
Kyle, you got ice cream? Let's see what you got.
You just got delivered or what?
Yeah, I got a Frosty here, just a chocolate Frosty.
Did Simple Kev deliver it for you?
Yeah.
Simple Kev. I think that should stick. Nice, Kyle. Congratulations.
Maybe we'll get him a shirt. Maybe we'll get him a shirt that says that, Simple Kev.
Simple Kev. Yeah, you should. I want my own semi-functional person to perform favors.
Dude, they're $10 an hour. Can you believe that? He'll do anything. You know, you just you point and tell him to do it, and he's just like, he just goes and does it. It's great.
So did you
How do you find these people?
Did you ever hear about the founder of Twitch, Justin TV? What he did is a second side business that he started up. He funded. It was called I Am Exec. I don't know if it ever was really successful, but I'm pretty sure it's still operating. But it was this website, kind of like Craigslist, I guess. But you could go into any city if they had like the service, and people like build a profile, and you can hire them to do like basically any job you want them to do for $25 an hour. So it's like, you know, people who are looking for work. If you need like, I don't know, what would you need something?
Garage door installation.
Ice cream.
I don't know if it'd be that technical, but like
ice cream delivery.
Like, yeah, ice cream delivery. Exactly. Boom. You can go on there and say and put in some instruction. The person, you pay them the $25 an hour through the website. You give them a rating. They give you a rating. Boom, done. So you get whatever you need done. Like you need something hauled away, or like, you know, whatever you need. And I thought it was a pretty genius idea, because for people like Kyle who can't go out to Wendy's in a spare moment here when he's on podcasts, dude, genius, right? I thought it was a good business. Buy
himself a $32 Frosty. You know, why
not? Maybe you're wasted. Maybe you're wasted and you want fucking Taco Bell, and you know you can't drive.
There you go. Boom. Saves lives.
You got a couple of friends there. You're just like, hey, let's all chip in an extra $5 a piece, and we'll get fucking Slow Kev to bring us some Taco Bell.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea for drunk people. You know, because they're not going to be thinking about the extra money. Like, fuck it, we just need more beer. Like they just. Like,
have you seen Jim Jeffries' TV show?
Yes, I have.
No.
It's pretty fucking good. I saw the first season is on Netflix, but I'm gonna have to buy the other seasons somewhere to watch them on Amazon. They're like $3 or maybe $4 an episode, and I'm not paying that. I'm sorry, Jim.
That's not worth it. It got sadder than I thought it would.
Really, after season 1?
Maybe I'm thinking of a different. Oh, I'm thinking of Mark Maron's show on Netflix, but I have seen Jim Jeffries too.
Mark Maron's
Mark Maron?
I can't. He's kind of depressing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. It's really kind of sad.
Jim Jeffries, you've got the guy in there with MS, but they make a joke out of it. Like, there's this scene where I think it's MS that his friend has, and basically his friend is online, like, dating, like, and he's chatting with this woman over Skype or something, and she doesn't know that he's in a wheelchair and that he can't move his arms. So, like, she's, like, taking her shirt off and showing him, like, her boobs and stuff, and she wants to see his dick. So Jim Jeffries is there, like, helping him with all this. So he, like, unbuckles the guy's pants and flips his dick out so she can see it. And he's got a huge dick. He's got, like, a 10-inch dick in the show. And she's like, whoa, wow. And she's like, will you stroke it for me? And he's, like, looking at Jim like, come on, man. Come on, you got to make this happen. And Jim's just like, ah! He's like, and that's when, like, his brother and his brother's date and the guy's mom all walk in the room at the same time, and he's, like, giving the guy a hand job on video cam while this woman watches, and everybody's screaming. It's a pretty good show.
You really do sell it. I also am into gay porn, so I think I would like this.
It's pretty fucking good. They take the guy out to get laid for the first time. They take him to a hooker. That whole thing is just hilarious. A lot of good stuff in this show. I want to see the second season. I think there may even be a third season.
It was funny, but they did really walk the razor's edge between completely homosexual and funny. Quite a bit on that show.
Wait, so what does that air on? Is it an online show?
It's called, what's it called? Legit.
Yeah, Legit.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on network television, though, is it?
Yeah.
It is?
It's like on FX, right?
I think it's on FX.
Man, that sounds wild.
I'm looking that up right now.
Yeah, it's good, though. I like this new trend of, like, comedians getting shows. Like, doing their own thing.
This is a new trend?
Yeah.
No, I mean, like...
It's new, it started with Cosby.
I'm sorry. These guys who, like, are only known from, like, podcasts and shit that aren't, like, huge headliners.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Mark Maron isn't a huge headliner. Jim Jeffries, I guess he is, like, not as big in the U.S. as other places. But it seems like people are getting more of a shot with the Netflix to get started, even if they're not, like, a Bill Cosby or a Bob Saget.
I totally don't even know who's big and small anymore. Like, I mostly watch Netflix. I've been watching Californication. So I'm, like, way behind. Like, Netflix should do news. I would really like to be watching 4-year-old news right now. Like, oh my God, Romney lost? It just, like, rolls in now. That would be great.
Netflix will get into something like that eventually. They're just getting so big they have to, right?
They should strike a deal with the sports league, because I feel like that's one of the biggest challenges to to doing the whole cord cutting thing. Like, sports and news are the thing that you want live. If they were to suddenly land, like, some NFL games, people would be like, all right, I'm done with Time Warner. I'm all about Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think this is a good time to mention Crunchyroll again, and I think it would also be a good time to us to figure out when we're going to get together.
Oh,
the cord cutters, they just, they drop Time Warner and they go to Crunchyroll so they can watch only anime. Yeah.
Absolutely. So crunchyroll.com/PKA, that is your one-way ticket to 1 month of free service from Crunchyroll, the #1 destination for all of your anime needs. They've got a few shows this month that they are calling their featured shows that they want you guys to know about. Con Kali with a K, apparently, The Testament of Sister New Devil, Cute High Earth Defense Club Love, Military, and Saikano, How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend. So for all of your anime needs, go check them out. And we are going to do another stream. It's going to have to be sometime after Monday, though, because I gotta film Monday and I gotta prep in the next couple days. But I think we should definitely get together. We should do another stream and finish watching Attack on Titan, get that out of the way.
I've been offline for a bit. Have you uploaded lately?
Me? I uploaded an M60 video like maybe 10 days ago. It's time for me to upload it again. We're just trying to do some last-minute edits to that. You know what happened? There was there was one segment to that video.
It was amazing.
So I did a body armor video, and it's filmed and everything, and I like for my videos to have like a flow to them. There's 3 or 4 segments, and they kind of tie into one another. It's kind of progressing, or it's escalating, if you will, sometimes. And we got kind of toward the end where I wanted like a nice segue or a finale shot, and I did something really crazy that well, when you watch it on film, it looks like I'm doing something really dumb, and there was a tree got cut down by a projectile, and it fell, and it was just really dangerous what I did on camera, and my
Kyle
network
totally
didn't want me
survived.
I survived, yeah, I'm fine, but it looked really dangerous, and my network didn't want me to upload it, and Kitty didn't think it was a good idea to upload it, so we're cutting that for now, saving it till like later on when it's okay to upload it, I suppose, like when I just don't give a fuck, and and I'm going to reshoot some stuff Monday to like intersplice in there, and so instead of that thing that you saw, Woody, I'm going to put in like just some heavy machine gun fire against the armored plate, and some incendiary ammunition, with some fire, some little explosions, something like that.
Since you talked about the tree, dude, as great as the visuals were on that, the audio, like, I hope I'm not saying too much here, but essentially he missed a target, and then you think nothing happened, and then it's like this, like, as the tree falls, and oh my god.
It was a big tree. The tree was like this big, and I shot it right in two. And I can't really talk about why it was so dangerous what I did, but I did it in a really unconventional way. You'll see it eventually. It's just, and they showed me a recut of it, like an editor like tried to go in and make it look safe, but I was like, well, now it just looks fake. Now it looks like we just faked this thing. Like you can't do that. It's got to be all or nothing. So eventually people will see it, but not anytime soon. But what I was getting at is we can do that stream sometime after Monday, sometime in the middle of next week, and maybe earlier in the day, maybe like 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'd be happy to do that. So
okay,
we could check out Attack on Titan. I'm sure Chiz would like to hop on there. I know he likes it too.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe move on to one of these other weirder.
Yeah, just by
shows.
title, that How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend thing really attracts me. But I bet we have listeners out there who could help us pick one, based on more than a title.
Yeah, probably so.
So let me chime in one more time here. So this is how long I haven't talked to you guys, and so just said hello and chatted. Kyle, so now it's cool to talk about what your videos and stuff on PKA and everything's up. Because back in the day, it would be people would roll up to us and we're at an event, and you would have to go into character. You
remember the night?
You couldn't talk about I remember we were out I don't know, going out to some party, industry party, and remember those guys that pop? It's these big rapper dudes or something that pop out of this big Suburban. And they were you remember what I'm talking about? Dude has a towel over his shoulder, and he's like, oh shit. And he's like,
oh, yeah.
They were apparently somebody, and people normally take pictures of them. I don't know who they were, but
I don't either.
Some big rappers or something, and we didn't know who they were, but they knew who you were, and they were wanting to take pictures with you, and you just had to kind of go into character, and then you were just eventually all right, fuck it.
I remember we were, maybe it was after COD XP or something, but we were at that bar, that hotel bar in LA, and that fan had sat down next to me and was just kept buying me vodkas, and I was keeping the accent up forever with that guy, and he was he was older, he was in his
I remember this. Yeah.
Oh, it went on forever. I drank so much that night. It seemed, I think that, yeah. So the bar closed and we couldn't get any more alcohol, and my room Machina was paying for my room.
You took all the mini bottles, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, Fwiz, what are we gonna do, man? We're all out of booze. I was like, we could clear out my mini bar, but that's on Machina's dime, and that shit's $8 a bottle. And he's like, fuck it! And so me and Chiz sneak up to the room, get all my little mini bottles out, we get those $9 bottles of Heineken, we get the $8 little mini shots of Maker's Mark, everything. We're just jangling back down to the party below, instant bar, and we just keep drinking outside the fucking hotel. That was an interesting night.
Good times, man. But yeah, so now the cat's out of the bag. Cool. On the podcast, it's oh, dude, and I'm sure you guys have already talked about this plenty of times, but the funniest thing about it was that people in your comments, somebody would try to like break the news, you know, like, hey, he's from fucking Georgia, not the country, the state. And he
it's the best.
Perfect American English, and people would be like, nuh-uh. It would just like deny it, you know, and just it would be like these.
I don't know why
arguments in your
people.
videos.
I don't know why people still try to like explain that to everyone. First of all, you're never going to explain it to everyone. Second of all, why do you care? There's millions of those fans, millions of them, and you'll never educate them all. A huge majority of them don't even read the YouTube comments. Only like 2 or 3% of you write in the comments, and only like another 10% of you read them. So like 80-90% of the total volume of those 600, 700 million views I got, they don't fucking know, and they don't fucking care. They think I'm a Russian commando, so let them. It's more fun that way.
It's funnier when people in the comment section are saying like, "Nuh-uh, he's from Georgia. He's not really Russian." And then the people who respond to that, who are just, it's almost like you're telling them Santa isn't real. They're just adamant that you're from Russia. Like, no, my uncle actually, he knows the chief of where he served. So don't tell me that. Like, that's nonsense.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I think it's hilarious. The best was. I met this kid at like what was it called?
VidCon,
yeah, in LA, and he was like maybe 12 years old, and he was like, oh, he's like a huge fan. And I was talking to him and everything, and his mom's with him, and she starts speaking in Russian, and I'm like, I'm not Russian. I'm kind of an actor. It's like a character that I portray on the internet. And she was so upset. She was so unhappy. Oh! Like you bring shame to my country. Like she was full-fledged not happy that I was not Russian because she had been fooled and she was a Russian and she was trying to speak Russian to me.
Oh man!
And it was hilarious.
Man, and that's validation of how good you are.
That's happened so many times. Like I'll get people that'll be like, it's not a good accent, but then I'll also get people that'll be like, your accent is pretty good, you know. I think maybe you're from southern country. I don't know. I thought it was a real accent. And I'm like, yeah, I know exactly. So it's always fun to run into people who. It's a little scary too. The Russians who like think I'm a comrade because those people are a little intense. Like I've had Russian friends before. That's where I practice the accent. They're great guys.
Can I tell their story?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I had a recent run-in with some real Russians, man. So like we went to Gfinity in the summer to play big Call of Duty tournament. It was like the second biggest tournament last year, and we won it. And I told the guys like before we left to motivate like our team, I'm like, listen, we had to be in Germany for another event at Gamescom like a week later, and we're in London. So I'm like, fuck it. I was like, I'll buy you guys tickets to Barcelona and Rome. We'll go hang out after Gfinity, and then we'll go to Germany and do our thing in Germany instead of coming back to the States and then flying back out. And so we took a little vacation, a little trip to Barcelona and Rome. Anyway, so we won the tournament, and I also told them if we won the tournament that I would pop some bottles in the club for them in Barcelona. So we go out to Barcelona, at nicest club in Barcelona, and I get them a table, swanky place, but it's a big dance club, right? Big party scene. So they have like 6 or 7 tables in this place, and it's really like high end. So I pay a lot of money to get a table. Next to us are some Australians who had a bunch of drugs, and on the other side were these Russian guys, and they had these 2 Lithuanian chicks that just danced. That's their job. I think they didn't really like hang out with them at all. They just danced. But anyway, so I walk up to this guy, and apparently he's a politician in Russia. So the first thing he does is to slap me on the back because we're already kind of like, a little tipsy at this point. We've been drinking all night, and I finally, said hello to him. He pours out, maybe this is the thing Russians do, but, he wants to show that he has a lot of money, so he pours out all this vodka and all these big shot glasses and then just dumps them on the ground and then pours some more and gives me a shot. Like, like, hey, fuck it. Like $500 bottle of vodka, I don't give a shit. Dump it on the ground. And so he kept doing that, until this thing was gone. And dude, I thought like the myths about Russians drinking a lot of vodka. I'm like, all right, it's like kind of like one of those stereotypes. But this dude literally would not stop pouring shots of vodka until the bottle was gone, and shots and straight vodka. Yeah. Then he gets another one and pours a pint glass of vodka and gives it to me. and I'm not kidding. It's like a full pint glass, and I'm just like, what do you do with it? Like I was a little scared, a little intimidated, to be quite honest, just because like I feel like.
What did you do?
I drank it. I didn't drink the whole thing, but
I don't think
started
I want to smell a whole pint glass.
I basically like made my way outside to smoke a cigarette and like totally like avoided going back, man, because I was so drunk at that point. And
did you finish the pint?
No. I set it somewhere and just like walked off.
That would have been hero status if you finished a bunch of shots and then a full pint of vodka.
It was probably like $100 worth of vodka in this pint glass. It's like away, man.
The most I've ever drank, like poured it back like that. I was in LA and Epic Mealtime was out there filming something with the Nerdist. They were doing this whole Star Wars like thing with a tauntaun and lightsabers and special effects, and they were going to go to a grocery store and they needed a Han Solo. So, because it was a Star Wars episode, so they dressed me up like Han Solo, and we all went to the grocery store. And Harley's dressed as like a Jedi, and like everybody's dressed up. Muscles Glasses was Boba Fett. It was pretty hilarious. And there was one part of the video where like the music's playing bum 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 bum, and you just see people drinking liquor. And they made an Incredible Hulk, but it was the glass of Incredible Hulk this fucking big, like a big fucking, like a glass of it. And if you don't know,
I like that drink, by the way. That's good stuff.
It's equal parts Hennessy and Hypnotic.
Yep.
And they made me one, and they made Muscles Glasses one, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I just started guzzling the thing down, and he was just like, no, and I like out, and they didn't even put it in. They didn't put it in because I outdrank Muscles Glasses because he just like took a sip and was like, and I was just like glug 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 and killed this whole fucking thing. The thing cut, and I ran out in the back and just like made myself vomit to like get that shit out of my system because I was gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Good times.
Dude, on a totally unrelated topic, have you heard that a bunch of YouTubers have lost their channels lately? Have you heard about that?
I heard that Only Use Me Blades channel got taken.
He's only one of like 3 or 4. Now I didn't know them all. Like there was a Minecraft guy who had like 100 and some thousand subs, which is legit. He lost his channel, but he has it back already. Only Use Me Blade lost his. There was another guy who lost his. Does anyone know anything about this?
I saw some stuff on Twitter about it, like just browsing through again.
I wish they'd come forward on like why this happened, like it could be straight up craziness and false flagging, like maybe someone attacked them. That's a thing that can happen.
I think it has something to do with the tags from in like old videos that are like they're just now discovering have strikes, and so you're getting like strikes, like 3 strikes instantly for like old content that has a bunch of bullshit tags in them or has something else going on with them like that, and that's what's going on.
Yeah, there was a time when everyone on YouTube loaded up their descriptions with tags. Like I know a really, I'm not gonna say his name, but he's like a super popular YouTuber, much bigger than me, who was like, if your title's not 256 characters, you're not trying. Because that plays a big role in the search engine stuff. So he would use really long titles. Like there's one YouTuber, I don't know who it is, but he would put like, let's play, game name, episode 1, and then like episode 14 afterwards. But every single one said episode 1, so they showed up and it helped with searches. Like people do different weird things with tags and titles, and then like YouTube cracks down on it, but they have a library of mistakes out there. And sometimes they don't go back and fix, and it's maybe that's what happened. I read that too, but it wasn't like a good source. I think it might have been a Reddit comment or something. So
I know that's happened before though. That's one I've heard that in the past. Like I know that's been a thing that could happen because it's usually something automated when like you see something like that happen.
Yeah, and I don't mean to lump Blade into this because I've never known him to have a strike before. But like I remember when Mr. Technical Difficult lost his channel, it was like, I don't want to get the number wrong, but did he have 14 strikes or something over time? Like I
don't know.
Yeah, not concurrently, right? Obviously you get 3 and your channel's down, but he would get like strike and then fixed and strike and then fixed, and like a lot of stuff had happened until eventually YouTube was like, last straw, this channel's done. But he had a backup channel with 500,000 subs, which is a pretty good starting point. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think Blade was in that situation. It seems like a big deal. It's a scary thing, right? Blade's been working up that channel since like 2008, 2007, something like that.
Yeah.
I watched Blade stuff back when he had like purple lines from a semi-broken recorder, back in COD 4.
The Dazzle.
Oh yeah, the Dazzle.
I don't even know if it was a
in like
Dazzle.
Pinnacle or something.
Yeah. It was back in the day, man.
It might have been less than Dazzle. He had a weird thing, and it almost looked like if you guys have ever seen the old school like VCRs that have been recorded too many times, and they'd have these like discolorations that ran horizontally through his stuff. I'd show you, but his channel's been taken down. Yeah, his video quality was amongst the worst on YouTube, but his commentary and his gameplay was unlike anybody else's. So I watched it. But yeah, I wonder what happens, and it's scary to think that they could just yank somebody's career like that.
Yep.
Already, YouTuber is kind of like pro athlete in that like you've got a shelf life. It's kind of cool while it lasts if you're a successful one, but very few people just keep going and going.
Yeah, I mean it's the same way with what we do
Esports,
too. I mean, you
right?
can't do this forever. Yeah, you got to have some kind of backup plan, career.
I will, dude. Top COD players last longer than I ever thought they would. Like I see the same names for like 5 years in a row, whereas if you were to ask me 5 years ago, I wouldn't have predicted that. I would have thought there's always somebody new, like nipping at your heels. The barrier to entry to become a pro player, right, aside from skill, is like nothing. You can just go online. There's game battles. You can compete. You can get known. You can do your thing. Like like there used to be free for all games in the Halo community, and people who like kick ass at free for all would get looked at by teams to be pulled in. And it's not like you're making mufflers or something and there's $10 million worth of capital expenses to get started. No, you just demonstrate talent and then work your way through. But it turns out that the best players are actually better than the other players, and they just I see the same names on the top teams for a long time.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it works. I mean, like I said, it's like kind of like other sports. You never want to call it a sport. It's just a big argument, so I don't want to get into that. But I tell people like I would love to play for the Yankees or the Dallas Cowboys, right? But I don't have that natural ability to do that. Like you have to start with some kind of natural ability. And it sounds crazy, but yeah, you need to have some kind of, I don't know, some mental skill and, some kind of reflexes, some fast reflexes, reaction time, etc. to be a pro gamer. And if you don't have it, you're just not going to make it, right? Like at some point, if you try and keep working at it and you don't get there, well, it's because you're probably missing a little bit of that natural ability. But it's also about taking that natural ability and honing in on it, and really like bringing it out more, right? Like that's not by practicing or training or whatever, and they're video games, but that stuff is pretty serious now, and the amount of money you can make doing it obviously has been ballooning. Like the game called Smite, just announced, or they're doing a $2.6 million tournament this weekend.
Wow, that's a big. I've never heard of Smite. What is it? Is it
it's kind of like a
shooter, platformer, puzzle,
like a tower defense MOBA type game.
Okay.
Kind of like I would say like similar to like a League of Legends, but not as deep. But I'll look it up. I don't really know a ton about it. I've watched it a few times, but yeah, $2.6 million prize pool. Obviously, like the Dota tournament had a $14 million prize pool because it was crowdfunded by in-game content. If we were to do that in Call of Duty, it would be, I think, an astronomical prize pool. I think people would really attach themselves to it and buy up like a skin. And if Activision took like $1 skin and gave 50 cents of every purchase to a prize pool, it would be massive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'd have a few $1 million prize pool at every that big championship. But Dota did it, and they raised $14 million, and the first place team took home $5.6 million.
It's tough with Activision, man. They don't seem to invest back in the community, right? Like, they may hire a community manager, and it sort of stops there. It seems like with Treyarch cycles, and maybe even Advanced Warfare, maybe even with Sledgehammer, they'll pay attention to competitive, but in what am I looking for? not Activision, but they made COD 4, they made Modern Warfare 2. Infinity Ward, yeah. On Infinity Ward cycles, they tend to ignore the community so strong. There's no COD support. No, I'm sorry, there's no COD competitive support. Yeah.
I think we're past those days, though. I think like they finally got it, they figured out like, oh, okay, well, let's pay attention to this a little bit more.
Really? Because I felt like there was a huge drop-off between Black Ops 2 and Ghost in terms of competitive support. It was 6 months down the road before they had that stuff sorted out.
Yeah, I still feel like they're figuring it out, but they're doing much. In my opinion, it's really good now. Like they're starting to do some really, really, really good things. And I don't know, every COD Champs has been pretty awesome. I've casted everyone, and I probably won't do this year's, but if you look at the production quality around it, they spend a lot of money on that, and like, it's a premier event in esports. So it's getting better. I think it's only going to grow bigger, and they're only going to get better at it. They're new to it, right? So everybody's new to it, so you got to give some leeway for people to learn about it and figure things out. It's tough.
You're being kind. I suppose you need to in your role, but I look at it and I'm
trust
like,
me, man.
dude,
Like
everyone's supposed to get better than the one before. That's the deal. When you take a step backwards, that really gets noticed, and they did.
Oh, I'll say it. I mean, I think they'll appreciate my honesty when I say like they've definitely done some things that have sucked. Like they've done some things, and
And they did before. When we went from Black Ops to Modern Warfare 3, step backwards for competitive. When they went from Black Ops 2 to Ghost, step backwards for competitive. They're just the one that they used to be the good one, right? When they made COD 4, that was the best around. When they dropped Modern Warfare 2, I went into it thinking, oh, sweet. Now we're on an Infinity Ward cycle. That's the last time I thought that. Modern Warfare 2.
But half that studio went, they had no controversy where they went to like, Respawn and all that stuff. So, you gotta give them some.
I liked
some forgiveness, but go ahead.
I liked Call of Duty 4. I loved it. I felt like World at War was a step down, but it wasn't a broken game. I felt like Modern Warfare 2 was a step up, but it was broken, and they didn't get it fixed until the later cycles of that game. And by then, I had played so many goddamn hours of it.
The name of this podcast comes from Modern Warfare 2, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it does.
exactly.
Yeah.
Painkiller already.
Black Ops. Black Ops was great before. I don't know when the patch came in, but initially in Black Ops, it felt like COD 4 all over again. Me and Socrates and another friend of mine were running fucking lobbies left and right. It was just Blackbird, Chopper Gunner, Dogs, Blackbird, Chopper Gunner, Dogs. Endless cycle of that. And the spawns were such that, everybody was this big fucking red hexagon, and you were just and as soon as you had killed all 3 or 4 of them, you'd reposition to their new spawn. And that was the last time I've had fun playing COD. They patched that, fixed they put like a spawn delay on or something, or spawn protection. It was never fun again for me, really. Like, that was the last time I went in there with buddies and dominated.
Dude, I got a Black Ops story like that. Black Ops is dropping, and I can't seem to find my groove in that game. I eventually did, but here's my thing. I'm not really great on the stick, but I put enough hours into COD, typically, not anymore, but I would put enough hours into COD that I would get better than most people. And it just came through like tactics and knowledge. It was never through that natural ability that Hastr0 described. Anyway, the game hasn't come out yet. So I'm playing against like other YouTubers and people passionate enough to get the game before its release date. Or like Mexican hosts or something, because I guess they didn't honor the street date. And I'm just sucking. I'm sucking. I managed to get whatever pro perk enabled you to like re-roll a care package. And no. I earned I got in last stand and I stood up again. And then I earned a care package and Wings of Redemption re-rolled it for me, if I remember how this went. I got a chopper gunner on Nuketown, which was the bomb.
Nobody had rockets.
No one had. Dude, it was brand new. People didn't really know what the deal was.
That's gold right there.
Oh, it was such gold. So anyway, Wings of Redemption turns my care package into a chopper gunner. I just mow people down. It's one of my first uploads. I think I uploaded it like a few hours before we were allowed to, to get that little edge. Million view video. And my earned kills, I went like 5-4, and then in the game I went like 39-4 because I got that chopper gunner. It was awesome. It was spectacular.
Yeah.
And it was a million view video. Not a ton of those. Well, I guess not for me anyway.
Yeah, that was a good time. I really haven't enjoyed the series as much since then. Black Ops 2 was fun. I liked it, but I don't know. Modern Warfare 3 I felt like was a really big letdown. I didn't enjoy very much. I didn't like the single player either. And then Ghost was just terrible, I thought. I really didn't care for Ghost. And with Advanced Warfare, I feel like if Advanced Warfare had come out when I was super passionate about Call of Duty, I'd have probably become really good at it. Because I feel like this is a game that's going to take a long time to get good at, to really master all the finesse. And there's a lot of finesse with those balancing the exo abilities with your super jump, whatever it's called, and your dash abilities, your left, right, back, and forward. When you mix all that together and you get a good weapon combination and you're good on the sticks, you can be almost unbeatable. Like all of a sudden, normally in COD, because you're stuck to the ground and running around, you could run into 4 people and you could outshoot all 4 of them if you could move a little. But because it's COD, you're kind of stuck to the ground and you're 3 times better than them, but there are 4 of them, so it just doesn't work out in your favor. But in this, you can run in, kill 3, and then be evasive enough to like kill the 4th one too. And I don't know. Maybe this one. You
watch XCal play, and he appears to be really hard to shoot.
So hard to shoot.
He's just so hard to shoot. And not only does he evade gunfire really well, but his shot while bouncing around in the air seems to be perfect. I'm sure the pro players are the same way.
He was using that laser weapon from the hip a lot, and then he got his kill streaks up so that he had like the turret laser, and then he ripped that off, and now he's bouncing around, jetting around with a turret laser, and while he's flying through the air backwards, he's like from the hip and like killing people cross map, because that thing's got no damage drop off. He's just frying them everywhere, left and right, getting 3 and 4 pieces. He goes to their home flag in domination, and all but takes it from them. The counter needed like maybe 2 more seconds, and he would have taken the flag. But they're just pouring in. It's like that scene from The Matrix when he's like, more, and they just keep coming in the door. It's like he goes on like an 8 kill streak, taking their flag, and they just keep coming. And he just like, need a little help here. Need a little help.
Yeah, he was begging for help while mowing down the team.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah, he's good at the game. He's not easy to get along with, but he's good at the game.
Exactly.
I just want to see good zombies back in this next Treyarch game. I know you guys don't care as much, but
I
barrel of fun.
Dude, if zombies were in this game and they were good, like we'd probably be playing some of that. I love zombies. I feel like it's something that, you can. It's a different kind of game, but it's still the familiarity of my COD.
Something went wrong with Treyarch. Treyarch doesn't know what makes zombies good. Somehow they hit it the first time, and then they're like, all right, we're going to step up zombies, and we're going to make it harder to have fun. All right, next level, even harder. Now we need like random buses driving through and cutting off your kiting area. Now we need lava along the ground. Now we need this. Now we need that. And it's like, dude, everything you're doing is backwards. Why is it such a sin for me to do well in this game?
It's because they took it and like they misconstrued, like everybody has a ton of fun with it because of like the whole kiting aspect of like being able to run them around like a bunch of idiots, and then just mow through them and see those points flare up, and that's fun. It's fun to do that, just headshot after headshot against easy targets. And now they make it so you have to hopscotch over some fucking lava and then get on a bus before a lawnmower hits you, or just some nonsense.
I don't want elusive frogman zombies.
No, fuck that.
I want that. Like maybe a big barreling motherfucker every now and then. That'd be cool. Like the big sludge guy that like maybe if I blow him up, he'll splatter on the others and acidify him down or something. But you've nailed it. Like my favorite thing to do. What was the zombie map that was like a big theater and that
was the good stuff.
Wasn't it some German name?
Heights or some.
I just remember like leading the zombies from the stage area up through the middle of the theater and to that back door of the theater, and then just turning around and just be like, and now you all die, and just like upgraded light machine gun just and just headshots, just cleaning through as many heads as it would go through at once, and just you'd mow down 30, 40 guys at a time, and then just keep your circle going. Me and Socrates would play that so much.
Yeah, and even that one with the giant robot. The giant robot map was a bunch of fun, but the whole horseshit of like, we got 3 brand new weapons for you, and they're elemental staves, so you'll be like a wizard. All right, now get out a piece of paper and a pen, because you're going to have to know about 15 steps before any of this is attainable. First, you're going to run up to a poster and hit A twice. It's like, come on, just let me use these weapons. I don't want to do this.
I think zombies should be about the players being completely outnumbered but completely overpowered at the same time. I think that you should succeed in spite of everything that is obvious. I think there should be 100 guys over there, and you should be running from them 90% of the time. But 10% of the time, you're like, all right, it's time to go. Flip the switches now, and like everybody turns around and opens fire, and that's what I always love.
Dude, the one with the Old West zombies, it's fun. It was.
Oh, that is a fun one. Because you can have a bank, and so once you played like 5 or 6 times, you have enough money in the bank that immediately you go to the bank, and then you pull out enough for every perk you want, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it fast forwards the whole thing.
You do have to open some. I forget, but yeah, it's definitely fun. Yeah. It's awesome, and there's if your team like plays well together, you can go to that alley and like camp there as they try to come to you. Set up all these traps and they're throwing them back, and it's awesome. It's a good time, and it's a good time because I'm successful. They have that one gun where you shoot on the ground and you can fly, and you can pull off some.
Yeah, and it never runs out of ammo. You just have to let it recharge. That was fun. Not having the constant ammo stress of zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Did it never run out of ammo?
It would like
it just
kind of like
recharge?
pop, and you had to wait until it clicked back down, and then you could keep firing it. Like it had 100 counter or something, I believe.
I could be wrong. I'm not sure.
That was a fun one though.
Yeah. But yeah, it's awesome. I like the flying because I would go over barriers and stuff like that, and all of a sudden I'm in a new place.
Yeah.
And then the witches, right? Like you'd maybe go down and lose your perks, and it's like we need to organize a group. Who's with me to go get this perk and get past the witches and do the haunted house one at a time? And
I remember that.
I'd play that again if I had an Xbox set up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big thing for the next COD. I hope they go back to their roots for zombies, which they won't. It'll be even harder and more complicated. And bring back the Akimbo 1887s.
That's the
greatest gun ever.
Those are great.
That's the thing. As a YouTuber, I missed out on some of the most fun OP you're an asshole guns. I never ran Akimbo 1887. Do you want to know why? Because I'm trying to get gameplay, and no one wants to see you use that stuff. I had to stop running the FAMAS. I didn't intentionally use the FAMAS all the time, but it seemed like I did because a lot of my best games were with the FAMAS. So I uploaded those, and now all of a sudden it's the only thing I used. The Akimbo FMGs, is that what they were? FMJs in Modern Warfare 3. Can't use those, I don't know. There were all these rules, so I didn't get to use the OP stuff, which I would have loved.
You missed out with those 1887s. Those were the most fun gun in any Call of Duty I've ever played. Just how enraged everyone was. You could hit them from a mile away.
Do you remember that animation where you flip them around? You're like,
and a lot of people would use steady aim on them, but honestly, even without it, sometimes you'd shoot without steady aim, and the guy would be so far away and in a window, and you just be like, fuck it, I got plenty of ammo.
Yeah.
Boom. And it's just plus 100. You're just like, holy shit! Fuck yeah.
So when that game came out, one of the Halo pros, his name's Strongside, he never really played a lot of Call of Duty, and so we were playing custom games the first 2 days that the game was out. We're playing 4v4 games against some other really good professional gamers, right? And I remember just him pulling those things out in the first game, dude. And we're playing and I'm on this hill, I can't remember what map it was, but I think it was favela, and I'm I see him down there, and he hits me with them, he snipes me with these things, and he does some damage, right? And I'm like, oh shit! He hit me with that from that far away. He starts running at me, he starts, I just see him started running up the hill, and I'm running backwards, oh my god! I'm shooting at him, and he just runs, and he just stops and pops me one more time, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then he just proceeds to. We're playing Search and Destroys, and he just proceeds to play like the next 3 hours of custom games with these things, and he's wrecking everybody. And like I'm a Call of Duty pro, and he's a Halo pro, and I'm like instantly knew that those things were the most OP gun to ever grace Call of Duty. And to this day, I think it was.
Didn't even need stopping power because you had 2 fucking guns.
Yeah.
So you could run like marathon lightweight, and you could sometimes, especially when it first started and not everyone knew about them, you'd get to the enemy spawn and like search and destroy, and they'd still be clumped, and it was just if you made your first 2 shots count, then you had a montage clip on your hands because you were going to wipe out a search and destroy team. You were going to kill 3 guys like right off the bat. It was insane. They were great. Yeah. They were totally overpowered, and we used the shit out of them.
Modern Warfare 2 was so much fun, man. Do you remember like Favela, like that? Okay, so like, do you remember Demolition? Right?
Yeah.
Like you would play Demolition because Demolition spawns were like static. Like you spawn there, right? Like
graveyard.
So we figure, all the pros like kind of they play the game a lot and they figure stuff out. We figured out like where to block the spawns to make the other team spawn at the top of the street, right? And like there was this little corner you could get in, and you could just sit there, and your teammates are blocking the spawns, and they're literally just spawning up in front of you,
Yeah.
So we had all those exploits. You guys figured them out too. But like you just sit there with like an M60 and just like hold the trigger, and it was just
or knifing, right? There was a knife that made you like knife quicker or something. The ballistic knife, right? You could knife super fast with it, I think.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2 had that.
Maybe I'm thinking of Black Ops, but yeah, people would just like super fast knife.
Tactical knife.
I'm jerking off.
Knife.
Yeah, tactical
knife.
Secondary
attack. This guy.
Yeah. And they just like stab, and as the guy came to life, drop. Drop. Yeah.
We used to do that in Shipment. We played Team Tactical COD 4, and on Shipment, I think it was Headquarters. It was Headquarters on Shipment and Team Tactical. That has static spawns as well. There's only like 4 total spawns on the map for the enemy team. So, like, I'd stand in one spawn point, Socrates would stand in another, Impulse would stand in another, and one of us knew we had the lucky spot. You just aim. You just aim at a corner between 2 of those crates, and that's where they're going to spawn in. And it's Headquarters, so there's a spawn delay. So you got plenty of time. Like, don't worry about them, like wave spawning, and you're like, oh, shit, and they, like, get a grenade off on you. No, you're just, like, M16 just sitting there waiting. Just brrr, brrr. And we would go on, like, I think Sock went on like an 80 kill streak one time because they, there's no fucking time limit. It's Headquarters. They'll just keep spawning in. So,
dude, going back to the knifing thing, I just remember I was thinking in my head, I'm like, didn't they have a perk that made you like knife from farther away? And I went and looked it up. Commando, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Never ran that.
I'm just reminiscing.
You can't run that as a YouTuber. Can't run Commando. Can't run 1887s. I listened to my subs too much at the time. The me of today would have been running all that fucking one-man army. Yeah, let it rip.
I think all you YouTubers were so concerned about like gameplays and stuff, so much so that like people were like paying other people to like get them gameplays and act like they were theirs and stuff. So like,
I was never accused of doing that. No one ever said, Woody, did you buy that 25 and 5? Nope. Got it on my own.
Big YouTubers did do that, Woody, and you know it.
I can name them.
So me too. But like, here you go. So you got a lot of people who were doing that stuff and thinking like, oh, I have to use the FAMAS. But I think if you guys would just use whatever the fuck you wanted to use, it wouldn't have mattered. People would still watch your videos. Like, I don't know why you guys were so concerned about that stuff. I think it was based off what we were talking about earlier. Like, you would read the comments and see all this hate, or a little bit of hate, and you would just kind of get turned off by it. But dude, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I'd use the 1887s with Commando, and my secondary would be noob tubes. Like, whatever gets it done, because you know it's going to get patched.
If I had stopped, fun gun ever. If I had never listened to hate in my video, like, for example, someone says like, oh my god, Woody, you can't use the FAMAS, and I said, fuck off, it's my favorite gun, it probably would have cut the hate early. Instead, it's like, nope, can't use Commando either. Now I have a new rule. You can't use this. You can't use that. Until I run around and like grab chickens from the map and kill people with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Modern Warfare 2 was full of those though. It wasn't just the 1887s. There was lots of shit like that was just like
Commando, one-man army, scavenger running along with those. What were those like China something noob tubes? Anyone remember them?
The China Lake kind of sucked.
China Lakes.
But the one-man army noob tubes. That's what became
one-man army noob. But there was another
Danger
one.
Close.
What was the other noob tube? Was it called China something? Do I have it right?
It was the China Lake. That was the shitty equipment one though.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, that thing sucked.
And then there were the
thumper.
hacks. There were the hacks,
thumper.
right? People would run the like fully auto noob tubes and stuff like that, and that was the thing.
One man army
Yeah.
noob tubes were just, and I used to be able to do like the spawn tubes, so like I would always know how to like shoot them off spawn and fuck people up. That was always great. I loved that. I'm trying to think. White Boy got like a crazy. He had the fastest nuke. He still has the fastest nuke in Modern Warfare 2, actually.
I'm sorry. You must
that
be
would be
thinking of
G-Unit.
G-Unit.
Yeah.
We know. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Hey guys, Shaggy here. Like,
I got Shaggy. Yeah, got another video. That was good.
got a
Yeah,
14-second nuke. Like,
My
But what-
favorite, dude, Shaggy had this thing. So, like,
forgot
the
about
noob tube video, I'm sorry, the fastest nuke video was obviously fake, and he called it out. And then the blade only nuke, obviously fake, and he admitted to that. But then there were other videos he never admitted were fake. And I remember he was running a shotgun on Wasteland in Modern Warfare 2, which, if you guys don't know this, Wasteland is a big wide open map, and it's terrible for a shotgun. You're just, a deer running across the field. Anyway, he says this thing. He's like, yeah, you see, I see this guy shooting at me. So I run forward, then I hit X and O, and I dodge the bullets. And I was like, wait, what the nuh-uh. Like, that's not a thing. You can't dodge bullets from across Wasteland. And he would just say this shit with a straight face, when in reality, everyone in that lobby was a friend of his, and they were missing.
I liked watching that video because you could even see him as he's trying to do his explanations. Like, there was one guy standing on top of a hill waiting to get killed, and he accidentally turned towards G-Unit, so you could see that he clearly saw him, and the guy just real quick was like, oh, fuck! And they just turned back to where he was supposed to be looking at. Just like, oh, I didn't see him. Didn't see this guy barreling towards me in the middle of a field with no cover.
So with the spas.
Yeah.
Painkiller, though, man. Painkiller was terrible. God.
Oh, yeah.
As a really high quality player, like when you're rewarding people for sucking ass at the game. You're literally rewarding people for just sucking. And so this sucky person just gets the drop on you for an extra 2 seconds. Basically, it was like
100% health. It was so. They were tough. Like you'd have to shoot them 3 or 4 times with FAMAS.
They claimed it as it's 300% health, but literally the way I thought about it is that's 2 fucking seconds. It's that's 2 seconds of reaction. I can't kill them. They're just gonna kill me. And I think everybody was pissed off about that. That was a quality player, but of course, everybody that sucked at the game rocked that thing.
You could shoot them in the head with a sniper rifle, and they wouldn't die.
Oh, they were good.
They needed 2 of those.
They were good. They would unload on you if you did that.
You might hit them in the head with a 50 cal, and they'd just be like, "Ow!"
And the real problem with it was that they fucking know if somebody had painkiller until you shot them. So you would actually have to alert them, "Hey, I'm here. I can't kill you, but hey, I'm here," before you even knew, right? If I would have been okay with it had they put the big pill above their head right when they spawn, so I could just run away, just be okay, I'm not gonna shoot.
Me and Wings of Redemption did it. Maybe our first dual commentary together ever was all about this subject. And at the time, I came up with the idea. I was like, why don't they just put him in that fucking Juggernaut suit? Just put him in that fucking suit if they're gonna give him 300 health. It's bullshit. Why do they have this? They're on painkillers, so my headshots don't count. That doesn't work.
Yep.
We all hated it so much. That's why this show was named that. We really hated that shit.
That's so funny, man.
That was one of the biggest turn-offs that Call of Duty ever did to me.
And I think it was the default death streak.
It was one of the earliest ones, if not the earliest ones.
Yeah, I could be off, but I think it was.
Martyrdom and Last Stand.
Martyrdom.
Martyrdom sucked more in
COD 4.
Because COD 4 already had frag times 3.
Yeah.
When you throw Martyrdom in with frag times 3, there'd be times when there were nades coming from everywhere.
Vacant was a shit show.
Yeah, the middle hill on Vacant, the middle flag and domination on Vacant.
Oh.
This shit was brutal.
It was impossible to not die of grenades.
Because it had a roof too that
straight up
roof. So people could just throw grenades from spawn and land in
How are you guys not talking about shipment? I had a class called
Vacant.
Shipment, and it ran frag times 3. I used to throw flashes on that too. That was fun because you just annoy the hell out of the other team with the flashes.
You didn't get the assist, but at the end of the game, you got to hear about what you were doing. Everybody was like, "Who was throwing the flashes?" So I got flash times 3 with I don't even know if Sonic Boom helps those, but I'd throw that on too, and it was just flash, 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 and I'd hit like 3 corners. You spawn in 1 corner, and there's only 3 more corners, so it's like flash, flash, flash.
Yeah.
And now I'm dead. Flash, flash, flash. Now I'm dead. Flash, flash, flash. I don't know how many times I die. This is my 8th account. Like how does?
Yeah, I learned that. Like someone else was like, "You're all gonna hate me by the end of this game. I'm running flash ×3," and it was like, that's the idea, dude. I love Shipment, man. I used to camp in Shipment
too. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I ran an M16 with a red dot in Shipment. A lot of people would run an SMG. They're like, "This is an up close map." Not the way I played it. I'm sitting here behind a barrel, and I would just point that red dot at people. I was like learning to play in COD 4. And I might go all night and be like +6 or something as I dug my way out of a KD hole. And then Shipment would come along and I could go +70. That thing was like a health spa for my KD. Loved it. Good times.
Within the first 12 seconds of playing Shipment, you could always tell if it was going to be just an excellent gaming experience or if it was just going to be 10 minutes of just anger and frustration.
First chopper, right? It's all
it all comes down to the first chopper.
Yeah.
Yo.
Those were good times, man. I've said it like 3 times this podcast. So.
Yeah, those really were good times. There was so much fun tied up in those games. Like I've spent so much time in those COD 4 maps.
I think a lot of people mix up the game and the good times, right? Really, what made COD 4 so great, it was a good game and it is a good enough platform to enable that. But it was like your initial COD experience. You hadn't been into shooters quite as much, or maybe you came in from Halo. Maybe I'm wrong, but it wasn't that COD 4 was so awesome. It was just awesome enough to do that thing. Black Ops 2 was better than COD 4, but the fact is you were just a couple years into it. Some of your favorite friends either changed or moved on, and
one of the things that I think was better in COD 4. On like a purely game mechanics level was the sound. I don't think they've done the sound as well as it was in COD 4 since ever. In COD 4, I put a headset just like this one on. I turned it up as loud as I could bear it, and then I became a god. I knew if you were walking on concrete or metal. I knew if you were running, sprinting, if you reloaded, if you pulled the pin on a grenade and were cooking it. I knew to run. I could hear it. I knew what was up on a whole nother level, and I played so many days, 100 days of playtime or whatever, that like I was like a fucking, I don't know. That was what I was best.
Sound whoring was awesome. Not only did you hear where it was coming from while sound whoring, if you play enough, you know where every material is, right? Is some guy walking on wood? Okay, where is there wood nearby me? I know. Yeah, he's behind the sun house. What is it called where plants grow? A greenhouse, right? He's behind the greenhouse on a state because that's the material that I just heard. Right? He walked up the metal stairs or whatever it was.
Or the little clink of on the tin roofs, just like click, 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 click. It's like I know where that fucker is.
Yeah. Like now directionally it was good, but you knew which materials were within hearing distance of you at all times, and you were like bat-like echolocation. Now they purposely go out, like the sound engine is every bit as good as it was before, but they fuck with it. You got like trains buzzing around, and the damn uniforms in World at War starting then, it was like jingle bells. The guy would walk, there'd be so many medals and shit bouncing around.
Yeah. He's got like his trench shovel banging about, and you can't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing a GB match on Downpour one time, and it was I think it was TDM it was Search and Destroy or something like that, and they were on the bottom side of the map, and there's an area to the left of the greenhouses down there where there's like some wood, and we were trying to find this last guy. It was like a 3v3 Search and Destroy, and we were down one man, so it was like me and one other guy looking for their last guy, and I'm just standing there like kind of at the edge of the map, and I hear him reload his gun, and I'm like, I think he's on the other side of this piece of wood that I'm standing next to. And I just go and point at the piece of wood where I heard the noise and go from the hip with an M16. And it's like, dun, 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 like game over. Like that's it. He was right fucking there. Like I was just like, this is what it should. This is so realistic. I felt like it was real life. I was sitting here in the rain, fucking scared because it was a GB match and I hated losing those things for my friends. I heard this guy and was just like, And it was just like real life. He's fucking dead, and it's over. And it was I loved that. I loved the sound whoring in that game, and I thought it made it. It gave me the edge that I needed to be like another level better than I already was.
At the pro level, does everyone run Dead Silence or whatever it's called? Like, is that a necessity thing on the classes today? Whatever the Dead Silence or whatever its equivalent is called. Do you have to run that to be competitive now, or is sound whoring so bad people don't use it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like always kind of been a necessity. Even in COD 4, no pro ran without Dead Silence.
Yeah,
you use Dead Silence. The only time you wouldn't use it is if like you use like Marathon, to run to like a domination flag really quickly and just jump on the flag right away, or to hit some stun grenades and then you crouch walked around. Yeah, I mean, every pro used Dead Silence pretty much.
Still, though, I'm not asking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still, it's still like a thing.
It still has to be.
In Advanced Warfare, you can hear the boosts. If you like use the boosts at all, you can hear that, right? So like that's like that's like the audio cue.
Yeah, I guess if you hear that, then.
I know there's an exo ability to silence your footsteps, and I think there's some sort of a thing that makes your booster pack not show up on the radar as a red spot. But I'm like I said, I'm a level 25. I'm still learning the maps and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just remember like you keep harping on COD 4, but like if you didn't have Dead Silence and you had a headset, you could hear them halfway across crash, like a big map. You could hear them. It was like I would be playing and I'd have like a friend watching me, and I'd be like up on top of the 3-story and crash, and I'd be like, he just spawned. He's by the blue garage. He's coming down the back alley. He just entered the blue room. Let's see if he goes upstairs, comes out the side door or the front door. Okay, he's gonna crouch behind the wall next to the car. He's like, dude, you're staring at a wall. I was like, I'm not gonna stand up until he's out in the open. Just like, now he's by the chopper, and I'd stand up, and then lay down again.
Oh,
it's
man.
just like, I can't do anything to that.
You knew it too. The best map for it was like District. Remember District? So like,
yeah.
Oh man, I mean, you would just like sit down the bottom market, and you knew at the very beginning of the game, like when you start hearing people sounding like elephants, you hear the footsteps, like you're like, oh yeah, this is it. This is the lobby we want to be in right here.
I like to fuck with people. It was more fun for me to like ruin someone's day, really. And the best way to know you did it was to play cage match. So you just had one other guy, and you could really gauge what you were doing to him. Like somebody might rage quit, and you might not even notice it if you're playing TDM or Search and Destroy. With this guy, like I'd go in there and I'd have like two serious classes and 3 like silly classes, and I'd run around doing silly classes until I found a try-hard, and then I'd be like, all right, here we go, and I'd fucking crank my headset literally as loud as it goes, and I would crouch walk or aim walk the whole game because I'm sound whoring through his Dead Silence. Like that's the whole point, and I could hear through his Dead Silence from like 30 feet away, something like that, and I would just be, he'd come around he'd watch the kill cam, and it's this me standing there waiting or like crouch walking, and then I stop. Turn around like 100 degrees, and I'm just like, all right. And he's just like, are you sound whoring me? Are you sound whoring me right fucking now, bro? And like up until then, he hadn't said a word, and I'm just like, turn my mic on. Like, yes. So back to mute for you.
Yeah. And there were tricks in that game too, like I'll tell you from a pro level, like one thing the Envy team knew back then that nobody else knew, and not even the YouTubers. I don't know. I never saw a video about it. Nothing, right? Like we would play, Search and Destroy is a big part of competitive Call of Duty in COD 4, and it still is. It has been in every COD. But if you in COD 4, if you were to scope your gun in and climbed over a wall, it would be a silent climb. So like, people would be at like a map like Strike, right? And inside like Strike, you have the middle courtyard, and nobody would really like pay attention to like the front of that gate and climb overs because they knew they could hear it. If somebody climbed over. And one trick like the Envy guys knew is that if you actually scoped your gun, then hit the jump button to grab the wall to climb over, it would be completely silent. So like little tricks like that people like didn't pick up on. That's where the big advantage came in.
Did you know that you could jump off the 3-story, and if you landed on those pallets just right, you would survive the jump all the way to the bottom?
Oh yeah. People did stuff like that. Yeah, that came late in the game though.
Yeah. You would fuck with somebody's head so bad you pulled that move on them, like if like an S&D when it's a 1v1 and you're trying to you just run a circle around them, jump off the fucking building, land on the pallets, and go prone, and they're just like, what the fuck? There's no way for him to win. Like that was a great game. We played that game so much we knew it inside and out. I guess those same little trade secrets or little inside things you could learn about all the future CODs, but COD 4 we knew it inside and out. With it really, I think the main reason is because World at War sucked so bad, in our opinions anyway, that we played COD 4 for 2 straight years. It wasn't a 1-year COD; it was a 2-year COD for me.
That's true.
That's the man. I've talked about this before, but COD 4 was a 2-year COD. World at War was a 1-year COD. Modern Warfare 2 was like a 9-month COD, and then Black Ops was a 6-month COD, and Modern Warfare 3. Am I doing this right? Got shorter, and then Black Ops 2, and then Ghosts was like a couple weeks, and maybe Advanced Warfare is extending that. Maybe it's reversing the trend. I don't know, but like the length.
Maybe we're just getting old. And older. We're just getting older, and like the younger guys might attach themselves to it and like be that. I don't know.
So I was kind of out of the community for a while when Ghosts came out, so I didn't get the full response. Did the community just hate it? Just unabashedly everybody hated it? Because I didn't care for it when I played it. I just didn't know that it was such a hated COD.
I think it was the most hated COD in the history of COD. Well, aside from COD 3.
Which one?
Ghosts.
Ghosts. I couldn't find much love for it. It seemed like, I don't know, you were really off the map. I don't like games when, I feel like when you're doing well, when your team is doing well, it should be hard for the other team. I feel like they should not be enjoying themselves. I feel like it should be uncomfortable, painful, and difficult for them once they're backed into a corner to regain map position. And with this latest COD, like we were watching XCal play earlier, and they're just constantly dropping like pings where it lights the characters up on the map. I don't know what they're called, but you basically see the players through the map material, and you can get ready, and it's great for map awareness. You always know what's going on. In Ghosts, I didn't see too much of that. It seemed like there were so many perks and attachments and equipment that would hide you from the enemy, and it was just, I mean, the game's called Ghosts, right? Like, I didn't care for that. I felt like in COD 4, the one that I love so much, once we backed you into your corner, that's where you stayed. And it didn't matter who spawned in. They were going to be in the corner too, because like we were the 8-year-old boys looking down at a grasshopper in a jar. Like, you weren't getting out of our jar. Like you're here for our entertainment now. And
yeah.
Since then, it became easier and easier to get out of the jar.
Yeah, the spawn system, man, I think has a lot to do with that. And it was like I said, static spawns. Like Domination COD 4, you knew if they're pinned on A side at Crash, they're fucking spawning there. They're gonna keep spawning around that area. The only out they have is the back alley, and that's if you push too far. So like, yeah, and that's the way it should be, right?
Countdown.
Like, okay,
Countdown.
Get out.
Remember the hangers and Countdown? You could get up on those lids and just shoot into them? Yeah. And, everybody would have, there'd be a mixture of weapons for that. Like, you'd have guys with their snipers and M16s, and you'd have rushers with SMGs, and you just pummel the team. They couldn't hide, they couldn't run.
Best airstrike there was, man.
Overgrown was...
Drop the airstrike.
I liked Overgrown because you could trap them by that gas station, and they were just so far from any cover that they were doomed. I had this line of sight from inside library towards the gas station, and it was glorious. There were a lot of good traps.
Well, I love that game.
I could sit here and talk about all night with you guys, but I probably have to call it a night because I still have to do work even at this hour at 1 o'clock in the morning. I got to talk with the team and see how they're doing.
It is getting late. You want to call a wild card, or you want to press on without Mr. Hastr0?
It's up to you guys.
We did start very late, but Hastr0, it has been fun having you, man.
Oh, thanks a lot, man.
Reminisce about all these better days.
Oh, dude, yeah. I actually, I'd love to see you guys at an event sometime, man, or do something, because I don't really go to many anymore. I don't know if you do still, Kyle or Woody, but
if they come to Raleigh, I do. I'd love that.
If I don't have to go, I go.
I've been to 2. They came to Raleigh twice. They don't seem to be coming anymore.
I think we all hit it pretty hard for a couple of years, though, so... it's time to just relax for a little bit.
I may end up out in LA pretty soon for a few little things. So.
Well, I probably won't be around too much, but this is what you should do. Just you have me on Skype and stuff. Just my phone number. Just message me sometime. Stay in touch, and I'd love to keep up with you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Hastr0.
Yeah, man. No problem. Thanks for having me. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yep.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Later.
Later.
Yep.
So, wild card
Or press on.
or press on?
I think we're about 3 hours and 12 minutes in.
I
We are.
appreciate you timing it. I could
Normally
go
I
either
would
way.
say press on, but we started 2 hours late because we wanted to get Mr. Hastr0 in here, and I'm pretty fucking tired.
Yeah, I am as well.
I gotta pick,
But,
and you could just blame it on Kitty. I gotta pick her up from the airport tomorrow.
Destroyer fun.
God damn it, Kitty. Otherwise, this would have been a 9-hour show.
Right? Yeah. She spent a while in Colorado this time. I guess she
did.
spent like 2 weeks, I guess. So she really likes it out there. I gotta go. I haven't fucking been yet. I want to go. I wanna see what that place is about.
It's my impression of Colorado is mountainous, sunny, dry, and cold. It's not bad, but that's what it is.
I just like to do some traveling as well. I want to go do something fun. So that's one of the reasons I'm like ready to do one of these PKA trips. I think that would be a fun thing to do.
Very good. All right, that was Painkiller Ready, episode 213. Thank you, Crunchyroll, for being our sponsor. We're actually really proud to have you. So, good stuff.
Yes,
Good night,
we
guys.
are. Good night.